Yo, what's up? This is Jamie Kennedy, and you're listening to The Vocal Minority. Do it up.
This is The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve. This is your chance to get vocal.
Children, I wish to announce that our show has undergone a reformatting. Let's get ready to listen quietly.
Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
The Vocal Minority.
Fellas, think we could listen to the radio or something?
The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve.
Radio? Who needs a radio?
Great heavens! What kind of radio show is this?
This is The Vocal Minority with Nick and Steve.
Welcome to The Vocal Minority, y'all, with Nick and Steve, a la Brewski.
It's time for another Brewski. This one is a crazy Brewski.
Let's hope not, dude. Weird things happen, bad things happen when we get a crazy Brewski.
That's the only Brewski we know and love. A little crazy, but I think you're only normal if you're a little crazy, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're all a little crazy. Let's be honest. I don't want to single you out, Brewski. I mean,
no, I'm okay with that. That's fine.
We're not sane people ourselves, so
no. If you were listening to the show, there's clearly mental health issues going on. Here,
that's
instead of seeking professional help, we just come on the airwaves here and vent to you, the audience, and we appreciate that. So.
That is the kind of program this is. You'll hear personal stories from the Vocal Minority. Of course, we talk about the big topics of the day, entertainment, political talk. I mean, we do it all here on the Vocal Minority.
It's human interest. It's pop culture. It's society. It's holding up a mirror and then doing a line of blow off of it.
You said that much more eloquently than I did.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
We're full service all the way. Full service.
Yeah, we're here for you. So, yes. And, find us on the website, thevocalminority.net. Find us on the social medias, et cetera, et cetera. And help spread the goddamn word. If you're listening to the show, you're not telling enough people. Okay? I put that on you, not on us. So you, the listener, tell someone.
Keep telling people, dude. We are spreading. Did we get any new listeners that you could tell from this week, or is it too early to chat about that?
No, we got a couple, and maybe this is people helping to spread the word, because we have another listener in Atlanta, Georgia. We continue to do well down there at Atlanta.
Very nice.
And again, this is just observational. It's not anything else. Facebook. We continue to do well with African Americans. I don't know why, but they seem to be liking us. So
we always say, welcome one, welcome all. We mean it.
Exactly. The Vocal Minority is not a reference to ethnicity. It's a reference to the people out there in the comments section or phoning in or that kind of stuff. But so we.
What is the Vocal Minority? Dumbass, try and be clear.
Yeah, we've been trying to figure it out. It used to refer to the people that called in at the radio station, the minority of the audience that would call in. But now it's really the comment section and people on the socials. So
we got the name of this show. I don't know if Brewski knows this story, but one of our old, Steve and I's old bosses, I think we were in a meeting and he said something and Steve's ears kind of perked up and he was like, yeah, the Vocal Minority. What do you think about that? I was like, yeah, I dig that. You know who it was?
Oh, I know who it was.
You do? You remember?
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's a good thing to ever come from that.
Dave Ross?
No.
Jay Kelly.
Oh.
He's probably the worst person. I mean, he would not have wanted to name this show, and he did unknowingly.
Well, he eventually ended up trying to completely derail and sabotage the show. So, yeah, it's a little ironic that he gave us the idea for the show. But he was talking about callers calling in and requesting some obscure song. And he's like, listen, you can't let this guy request the B-side of Frank Zappa. Like, he'll love it, but everyone else will hate it. And you have to understand the majority of people will never call in, but the minority do. And they're a very vocal minority, and you can't let them run the radio station.
They're a very loud, vocal minority if they just don't seem to be able to do anything else with their lives.
Exactly.
I mean, that's true, right?
We gave them a platform to call in. Go ahead and run the radio station for a couple hours. Tell us.
I see what you're doing there, Steve.
I see what you're doing, Steven.
Exactly. Building a career off of your casual mention. So,
Chris Elliott If anyone doesn't realize it, this guy we're talking about looks like Chris Elliott.
He does, and that's probably not a compliment. Chris Elliott's not exactly a male model, so.
No,
but he's
he's
funny. Unlike
comedic
Jake Kelly,
genius.
he's funny though. So.
I've been called Chris Elliott before, and I took great offense to it. I was like,
no,
what are you talking about? First of all, I'm a big boy, so I don't. Chris Elliott looks like he's suffering from the AIDS virus or something like that, or cancer or something. I mean, he's uber skinny.
No, that's fair.
And then the other one I get from time to time is Kevin James, and I'm like, I guess I see it a little more, but not really. I mean, we're both fat. Maybe that's it.
I don't know. I don't think you look like either of those dudes. You've got the humor of both, but.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice to say that.
Well, when I was selling cars in Tacoma, they took to calling me Drew Carey, so much so that they would page me to the sales manager's office by that name. Drew, come to the sales office, please. Come to the sales office for your deal. Drew.
That is so funny. It's got to be the horn-rimmed glasses.
Glasses on. Yeah, maybe.
But I had the short haircut, and I'm wearing my suit at the time, too, because I'm selling cars. And so, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
At least people are saying we look like funny people, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The one person everyone always told me I look like, no one knows who he is anymore. It's Eric Stoltz. You remember who he is?
Sure.
He was in Pulp Fiction. He was in Singles, but he was a redheaded, skinny white.
Mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in Mask. I mean, I wouldn't take that as a compliment.
Maybe that's what they meant. I like the more Pulp Fiction hair with Wheeler version of Eric Stoltz.
He was in Some Kind of Wonderful.
He was. Are you dying, Brewski? You okay?
Just swallow, Ron.
You should spit. Don't swallow. I prefer swallow, but
I'm all about recycling.
You prefer swallowing, having it done, or doing it?
Well, I prefer having it done. Yes. I haven't tried the other way around. Maybe I'll stop by a truck stop one of these nights and see how it goes. So.
Here's something for you to think about and consider,
please.
And in this day and age, as we become a more progressive people by majority, I would say that when I delivered pizzas in my adulthood, like I was a 45-year-old man delivering pizzas at one point.
Yeah.
All those kids that I worked with, it seemed even the straight ones, even the straight boys had a much easier time experimenting with blowjobs and other things that I, in my youth, would have never considered just because I don't have an interest, and I wouldn't consider it now.
I don't know if experimenting falls under, or blowjobs fall under the experimenting umbrella.
Well, I mean, if you are wagering, if you are teetering with your sexuality, I mean, don't you have to try it to see if it turns you on or to see if you like it?
I suppose if you're on the fence, but then you're bi-curious, so that would be.
But here's a question though: what if is it receiving only or giving too? Because,
well, there's shades of gayness in there. I would think it's obviously 10 shades darker if you're giving than receiving.
Okay.
Nothing's wrong with any of this, by the way.
No. I'm just curious
saying,
as to what.
If you're blowing a dude, like that's in the gay category. It is.
No, but
I think Webster's has a picture of that under definitions.
If I blow a guy and then I decide that I just want women for the rest of my life, do I have to identify as gay or bi?
You know, if you're like 15, probably not. If you're 38, probably. Yeah, There's a window in life for experimenting and trying things, and then there's much later in life, and then I think you're probably just either bi or gay and in denial.
Yeah.
See, I disagree with you on that.
Please share, please. I'm actually curious about this. I mean, it's an interesting topic to think about.
Sometimes, guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
In order to get one thing, you got to let other things happen to you.
Okay.
Like,
expand, please.
Let's just say
I already think I know where you're going with this, dude.
Let's just say there's a hot chick that you want to bang.
Yeah. Sure.
But she will only bang you if her husband can watch and maybe blow you a little bit.
Oh.
So like during a threesome, the woman might want to see you with her male counterpart.
Oh, no. Them together. Like them together working on you.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm getting it now.
You gotta be okay with that if you want to be able to bang her.
Okay.
So imagine that this happened to somebody we knew, would they like it, or did they decide it was worth it for the trade-off, or I'll never do that again?
Well, let's just say that when one person was speaking into the microphone, things weren't going well. And then when it got passed over to the other person, all of a sudden things perked up again.
Right. Okay. No, I get it. And I guess that's what I mean. Like, I've never thought to be able to do that, but I think it's on what much wider spectrum than I ever imagined that it was.
I was going to say that opens up my shades of gray a little wider. When you have a woman involved, now it becomes a little more ambiguous. So yeah. I would concur with that scenario, that there's, I don't even know in that scenario if it matters what the shades of gayness are per se. That's just humans being humans and having a good time together. If it's you and a dude in a truck stop, then that's at a little bit different spectrum. Different. So, it's
do it like they do it on the Discovery Channel was a great hit for a reason, dude, because you know what? There are gay animals. There are animals who just want to get off and don't care what it is.
Sure.
And we're animals, dude.
And when the lights are down low, who knows? Who knows who's doing what?
I will tell you that my cousin at one point in my life, this is a 16-year-old Nikki. I was a little drunk. I may have passed out. My cousin may have stuck a banana in my mouth and then hit it when I woke up and had his dick in my face.
Wow,
that may have happened at some point.
That's just good comedy right there. I don't know if we need to label that.
We don't need to label anything, I suppose, gents.
No, but
I remember the great philosopher Creed Bratton.
Sure, of the grassroots and office fame.
That's right.
Yes, he once said that I was amongst naked people, a whole pile of naked people at Woodstock, and I made love to a great many of them. Some of them might be men, some of them may have been women, but we were all one big pile of humanity.
Right. I remember it well.
I can respect that. So. I do want to comment on everyone's appearances today, but should I finish our new list, or because we're
finish it off quickly?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. So Atlanta, Georgia, new listener there. Lexington, Kentucky came on the map. So
College Town. That's good.
Yeah, that's grassroots sort of people. Speaking of that, so, and I believe the Harness family has roots in Kentucky. That's, I think, where my family first came here. So
really,
yeah, that's what my research has shown.
Have you shied away from that fact for some reason?
No, it's never come up. I have German Scottish heritage and believe the original Harnesses on my wing came through Kentucky. And do you know when I found that out, actually?
No.
We had a porn star / nude model on the Vocal Minority years ago named September Harness, and that was her real name. And we were related. And I did a little research because she said her family originated in Kentucky. And I called my dad and asked him, and he had mentioned, no, I think actually our family originated in Kentucky. And so, yeah, so we interviewed this beautiful, porn star model stripper lady in the Harness family. And that's where I got that from. So.
How'd you find out you were related? Did you take a DNA test or something?
Well, it's a rare name, and if there's only one branch of the Harnesses that would have come through Kentucky, so we just had to assume that it would be too big of a coincidence. So yeah, I don't know how old September Harness is doing anymore.
This all makes more sense that you're such a sex addict, dude.
It's in the genes. And she did change her name shortly after that, I think, because we had put her on the radio. So who knows where she's at? But and then we have another listener in Nashville, Tennessee. So I don't know if somebody told somebody, but so yeah, Kentucky, Tennessee. I don't know. Somebody in the heartland's loving us. So.
That's fantastic. Nice. Well, we appreciate the support anytime, all the time.
And I think Nick and I were debating it this week, but I think I got recognized for the first time from this show.
Nice. I was a little questionable on it. Have you decided that it's real?
I don't know. I mean, it seems real, but who knows? So, Brewski, I was. There was some ski industry post around here, and they did one of my pet peeves. They refer to. I live in the Sierra Nevada mountains. And the word Sierra is plural. You know, it means more than one mountain.
Sierras.
No, and people do that a lot. They call it the Sierras. They add an S to the end.
Oh, just Sierra, and that's the plural. That's the plural of it.
It's already plural. So people call it the Sierras a lot. And I learned this when I was doing ski reporting years ago. I had the company call me and say, it's not the Sierras, it's the Sierra. It's plural. It's already plural. And I Googled it. It's true. So some ski industry website posted something about snow in the Sierras. And I just made a comment of like, hey, fun fact, Sierra's already plural. Don't add an S. And some woman who's like 18 or 19 in Southern California commented, and she said, Steve, you're right about that, but I think I recognize you. Like, where are you from? And I don't know this woman at all. I guarantee it. So I commented back to her of like, yeah, you know, you and I don't know each other. I said, but I do a podcast, and, you know, we got videos all over Facebook. And her reply was, oh, I think I actually did see one of your videos. Maybe that's where I know you're from. So I'm just going to take that as a victory.
Yeah, let's take it as a victory. I mean, I think it is. You were on a dating website, dude. I mean,
yeah, I think the other end of the state.
Yeah, I mean, and they're getting a little crazy if they're popping on, you know, local mountain websites or whatever to try and get you into their web. So.
Well, I was going to say, and this woman has made no. I ended up messaging her because I was so curious. Like, you know, did she know us from the show? Because I know I don't know her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she hasn't like solicited me for porn websites or, you know, my uncle in India is going to transfer $7 million or something. So
always a plus when they don't, you know, solicit you for money.
Right. Not a prostitute.
Things are going well here.
I've had that before. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So there's our new listeners. And I'm going to say 9 out of 10, at least 90% sure. We had our first person recognize one of us. So that's good.
That's very good.
So, yes. All right, so speaking of recognizing us, first of all, I just want to point out that Brewski is now broadcasting from the Grand Library in his in Boston.
So. Yes.
Fine wood paneling.
Dude, look at that. Is that a hard oak? Did you buy that at an antique store or, you know, something like that? Or did you buy it secondhand or is it
Tell us about your wood.
Secondhand for off of Craigslist.
It's really nice, dude. It's really pretty. It looks heavy.
Well, it is heavy. It has two sides. I prefer this side. The other side has a bamboo look to it.
Oh, okay. Like inlay on it, or
yeah, and I just.
It's like nice. It's got versatility. So
yeah,
exactly. I like this. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to attach some things on it so that I have a little personality behind it, you know.
You could use the opposite side for your OnlyFans and this side for the podcast, dude.
You are a problem solver, Nikki.
I try, brother.
Yeah.
Anytime we do some sort of Asian story, I want you to flip it to the bamboo. Just to set the theme for us here.
Well, then perfect for when I have my Ernest Borgnine autograph up as him as Commander McHale.
I like it. So, yeah, I've learned double stick tape works really well. All of these acoustic tiles I have behind me, these are all double stick tape, and they haven't fallen down yet. So,
oh, what's the tiles that I have in here, these acoustic ones here, these ones had this whole backing thing on it, and I peeled it off, and I think these are here permanently. These things are not moving at all.
They're low bearing now. Yeah.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing I'm a mortgage holder in this home.
Yeah, I would say so. Did I tell you guys about the time that I had that I was on? We talked about the fact that I was on a home makeover show before, right?
I don't know if we talked about it on this show. I'm well aware of the story, though. So at least briefly tell the audience that, yeah. On one of them.
I was on a home makeover show called $100 Makeover.
Which sounds like a bad idea, right?
It sounds like, yeah, it does. But we wanted to get on TV. It was me and my wife, and they were advertising on Craigslist. And I was like, are we sure it's a TV show? Right. But they ended up picking us. And what they do is they try and do a makeover with shit you already have in your house. And sometimes they'll, you know, I had like a cart of sorts that they turned into a bar, used the wood from it, you know, so they'll cut shit up and change it, but then they can spend no more than $100 per room that they do.
Oh, per room. Okay.
Per room. Okay.
At least it's not $100 total. All right.
Yeah, exactly. So I will just say, I mean, the show overall, the experience of it was interesting, and they put us up in a hotel for a couple of nights while they were at our house doing all this shit. But they threw away. We got back and they were going to they did the reveal, and we were walking into our bedroom, and we had just purchased a brand new furniture set for our bedroom, bed, side tables, dresser, all that shit. Yeah. We get in there and it's not in our bedroom. And so they're taping, dude, and I'm doing the reveal, and all I can think to myself is, where the fuck's my furniture, dude? Because I don't have
cost a lot more than $100, I bet.
Yeah, we didn't have a garage in that house, so I knew it wasn't like they just moved it. So
we smashed it and turned it into a new wet bar for you.
Dude, as soon as the reveal was over, I was like, where's our bedroom furniture? Because our bedroom was a fucking disaster, what they did to our bedroom.
Yeah.
And they were like, we got rid of it. We threw it away. I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Like,
why would they do that? Not even take it to the Salvation Army? They just threw it in a dumpster somewhere?
Dude, we had two huge dumpsters outside of our house. And before I left to go to the hotel, they had already filled one whole dumpster.
Wow.
With shit. So
it's not like you were living in some rat's nest that needed
no.
clearing out.
I started to think for a minute, like, you guys do $100 makeover and just steal people's furniture and fucking sell it. Like, I'm never going to be on TV.
That could be where the budget came from. They sold your headboard and paid for 4 rooms or 20 rooms, probably.
Crazy, dude. But the point of me bringing all of this up is because one of the rooms that I had asked them to do was my studio at the time. And that was definitely the coolest room that was done during the whole makeover. But they went out and, because they can't spend much money, bought those egg crate mattress, things that you put on. And they decided they were going to use that for soundproofing, which is not crazy, right?
It's what we did in our first studio for the Vocal Minority. Yes. Those were mattress things I hung on the wall.
Yeah, exactly. So they went out and bought them and cut them into smaller squares so they could be like tiles, and spray painted them black. It actually looked pretty cool, but that was a rental house. And when we moved out of that house, they had put probably 1,000+ staples into one of the walls, holding all that foam shit up. Yeah. And I didn't get my deposit back. I'll just say that. I mean, the landlord was so fucking pissed at me.
Was it just speckled with little foam chunks because you pulled the whole tiles off?
Yes, dude, it was awful. So yeah, Brewski, that may be stuck to your wall.
That's all right. I mean,
but Ty Pennington will come by and fix all that for you at some point. So.
Dude, all the people on this show, I mean, it's on TV. You can find it. If you search...
I've never seen it. I've still never seen it.
Oh, you've never seen it?
No.
You can search it and find it. But all the 3 characters on it were like generic people, like with our Craftsman was Ty Pennington, pretty much look-alike.
The $100 version of Ty Pennington.
Exactly, dude. He was the meth dealer version of Ty Pennington.
Where can I find it? What platform is it on?
I think they put it on Tubi.
Okay.
I think it's on Tubi.
It's not one of my things, but maybe someday I do need
Tubi's a free app that you can.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, I think if you just search, Nick and Rachel, $100 makeover, you'll find it.
Okay. Everyone go look. You can see what
let's see if we can get that bad boy some views.
Right. Yeah. Screw our pages. Go watch that thing. So. Well, all right, so that's good. So yeah, Brewski, you're looking good, and I know you got your new ring light rocking there too. So you're you're illuminated,
looking fantastic.
Yes, my mom will be happy. My mom mentioned on last week's show she didn't want to see her closet anymore. So
yeah, well didn't you tell him to make his bed, and his bed was already made? She was expecting hospital corners too.
I think so.
Yeah, but that was my comforter hanging off the bed there. I don't tuck my comforter under the mattress. So
I was watching episode 16 last night where you revealed that that's where you like to jerk off, is the bed in the background. So I think it's okay to put up a little barrier.
Oh, wait a minute. I think we talk. It depends, because sometimes I've got a remote place I like to go and do that too.
Yes.
In the Burger King bathroom?
No, the McDonald's bathroom.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
They have better fries. I mean, come on.
Exactly.
You're right.
I do have that one flagged on my list of clips to pull. I'm still on episode 16 pulling clips from. We're on 23 today, so we've got an archive going.
Your dating life has just picked up so much, and you know what, that is the difference, right? For you, I mean, it's made you a lot busier. Snow has made you a lot busier.
Yes, it is snow and it is dating. When we first started this show, the podcast, 6 months ago or whatever it was, 4 or 5 months ago, I don't know, I told you guys, like, this is actually an opportune time because I'm single, I'm depressed, I'm staying at home constantly, so it's a great time to be editing and pulling clips. But yeah, now I'm either outside shoveling snow or outside hanging around with women. So
happy with a new love.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll get there, but yes. What?
We're not going to get any. We're not going to get any Dottie talk today.
It's on my list. It's on my list.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I haven't talked to you in a week, dude.
I got you.
Get out of town, really?
No, I haven't talked to him. My brother was here all this last week, and my time was molested, so I didn't.
Yes. And it appears that you have been as well. So brother's just dying for some Nikki time, huh? Let's stay up all night and drink and talk, or what?
He loves it, dude. I mean, he's 2 hours ahead of me, so I'm like, when it gets to be 2 a.m. Seattle time, it's 4 a.m. Like, he's gonna get tired.
Right. Didn't work that way though, huh?
I need to get a tranquilizer gun, dude, and just at about 11 o'clock, just fucking shoot him with it. Because no, I mean, that guy can go all fucking night long. He's gonna be 60 years old next year or this year.
Question is, does he have kids?
Yeah, 2.
No, at home with him right now, or are they already out of the house?
No, both at home.
This is why he's craving brother time away from him.
Exactly. This is his time to party. He doesn't have the kids right there with him. He can just like
You're right.
Loose.
Yeah.
You're
Nick's
right.
house is Club Med for him, basically. Out west and parties all night. Last time I was in Seattle, we were all up until 3 or 4 in the morning with your brothers, and I had a flight at like 6 a.m.
That must have hurt so bad, because that's basically what I did last night, but I had to be up at 5 a.m.
Yeah. No, I slept on the couch.
No, I guess I got
out of bed. And,
yeah, I mean, you did. You slept on the couch and you were gone like a thief in the night.
Right. Yeah, but no, your brothers are fun. So was it a good time or just pure exhaustion?
We had a great time, dude. I mean, I always have fun with my brothers. They're good dudes. And yeah, laughed a lot, hung out. We, my brother and I have one obligatory conversation each time we see each other that revolves around the death of my father.
Oh, I thought you were going to say eggs, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I didn't. You know what? I think my video that I made has put a little silence on the egg conversation.
Yeah, which, by the way, we should probably share that on the Vocal Minority stuff, because that was a pretty good little video you did. Nick did a little flexing with his wealth. Destroying random eggs because he's got that kind of money.
Yeah. My brother came over, dude, and our because of the weather, our recycling hasn't been picked up, so there was a egg carton sitting outside on the table getting ready for me to throw away, and I was like, oh, those are the eggs. And he was like, yeah, I was so fucking pissed when I saw that, and apparently so was his wife. And I was like, dude, they were expired. Yeah, I was taking them out of the fridge, and that's what made me think to do it. I fucking went and threw eggs and pissed a lot of people off.
It's a hilarious video, but it's still a commentary that you're doing so well, you just let eggs expire. It's like just burning dollar bills, right? I mean, like $1.50 you wasted right there. So
yeah, it's just crazy. But no, we didn't talk about eggs. But yeah, we have that one conversation, and I'm not against having it. But it's always, I just notice it seems to come up every time he's in town. And yeah, I don't know.
Is it mentally exhausting, or is it a good conversation?
You know what it's more about, I think, and I get it. We're getting older. Like I said, he's going to be 60. Not that he's going to die soon or anything like that, but we're getting older and thinking about that shit. And I think that he compares what he wants for the end of his life in contrast to what my dad had.
Okay.
We have different opinions. Like, I was glad I was there when my dad passed away, like physically passed away.
Yeah.
He told me afterwards that he was like, you know what, if I could take that back, I wouldn't have been there. Not because I don't want to be there for dad. They were extremely close. But he didn't like that he had to remember him like that, you know? Which I get both sides, but
I do. I often don't go to funerals. There's been a couple of funerals in my life that I've declined to go to because I don't want that to be my last memory of that person. And funerals are not about their closure; it's about your closure, right? And I felt like, I don't need it. I don't want to see him in a coffin. Like,
well, you know.
Oh, go ahead, Brewski.
I was going to say it's like when my dad was on the driveway here and he was getting CPR.
Right.
I'm up on the porch looking down and watching these EMTs performing CPR on my dad, but my sister was off on the sidewalk well behind me, couldn't see anything else. She was off the porch and everything.
Right.
And she said that I don't think I could have handled it if I were up there and I saw what was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it, dude. Yeah.
So yeah.
I have not had the opportunity, thankfully, I guess, to actually be there at that moment. And boy, I guess part of me, if it's my mom or dad, I would want to be there for them so they have family around them in that moment. But boy, I don't know.
That's what I feel, dude. To be honest with you, and I should probably tell you guys this. I don't want to die alone, dude. I don't want to do that. I didn't want my dad to have to die alone, but my brother's like, I'm good. Like, you don't have to show up. There's nothing unsaid between us. Like, I know how you feel. Yeah. Don't show up. I mean, it's not good. I don't want it for you. And I'm like, that freaks me out. I'll be there, dude.
I think I would be there because, like I just said, the funeral, they've already passed. That's not for them. That's for the living. But when somebody's actually getting ready to pass, like, I don't want them to be alone. So, yeah.
And he was telling me this conversation. I really hope I'm not speaking out of school because we don't know who my brother is. But I mean, he told me that, if I could have it my way, I'd like to do one last road trip before my health. If this is assuming he got sick and had, you got 6 months.
Yeah.
I'd like to do one last road trip with you and maybe some other people and say goodbye and drive off a cliff.
Wow.
I just like to go out that way. I don't want to suffer. If I know it's coming, I would just like to, take a motorcycle and just floor it and go off, have one last adventure.
Yeah, I understand that. I would wait, though, until I was super ill, and then I would drive off. I don't want to deprive even one day of, healthiness.
Sure, yeah.
But
everyone feels different about death, dude. It doesn't, I shouldn't say it freaks me out, but it really perplexes me when I talk to people who are like, I'm okay with death. Like me dying. Like I don't fear death, and I don't feel that same way.
No.
I do less than I did when I was younger. Maybe it happens as you get older, dude, that you don't fear it as much.
I will tell you, I'm haunted by deaths. I've had a few that have hit me hard and I don't like the concept. I don't deal well with it. But my firstborn, Neo, ever since age 11 or 12, has had this, I don't know where she gets it, just this embracing of death, like a mild, I don't want to call it a fascination, but she just has this acceptance and understanding of it that did not come from me. And maybe that will change in life, but those kids have had a couple of grandparents pass that they were close to. And
right.
So it's not like they're not speaking from any experience, but I appreciate it, but I don't know where it came from.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I was more like that because it's probably a healthy thing to be okay with death. It's inevitable, right?
Yeah, yes, it is. And I will say, when I put our dog down, Charlie, I was there for it, and that haunts me still, watching him fade away. So
it's imperative, dude.
Yeah, but I'm glad I was there for Charlie. So
yeah.
Brewski. And speaking of which, we should give a quick shout out for Brewski, who's suffered another loss this
Oh
week.
yeah, my Zoe Bowie. Yeah, she. I was out working Saturday night, and I received a text message from the Jen, and she said that Zoe had passed, and so.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Because
but I mean,
pets are family. I don't get into this. I know a guy here in Tahoe is just like, if the vet bill's over $300, put it down. Like I don't care. I'm like, dude, pets are part of the family to me.
Yeah, no, I mean Zoe was a good girl and just the sweetest dog ever.
She was.
She was. I mean, Penelope was sweet, but she was also kind of a tough old broad, and Zoe was just sweet all around all the time. So
yeah, living that pug life.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing it upright. It's funny that you mentioned what it costs for a vet bill. I've had this argument with my brother who was just here before. Not an argument, but a discussion. When we go to board our pets, if we're going out of town, they make you sign something that says if your dog or your cat gets sick, how much will you spend?
Yeah.
If we can't get a hold of you. I can't put a number. I can't put a number. Yeah, I was like, call me. I mean, if I have it, I'll pay it. Right. My brother's like, yeah, and he's an animal person from what I understand, but he's like, you can't drain your bank account.
But
yes, I can.
Is he a rural person or a city person?
Rural.
Yeah, and so I've noticed this with my family, in particular down in Georgia, and they just have a different view of their pets, and they're farmers too,
right?
So they have livestock and cows and all that sort of thing. But it's just a different kind of mindset.
The guy I just mentioned that had the $300 limit, he grew up on a farm, and that's what he credits to, that I had animals coming and going all the time. Like, I'm not as attached to them. So I can get it on some level, but no, I would spend what I could spend. I don't drain my account. I would, if it was truly $10,000, I don't have it, then I guess I don't have it. But if someone tells me it's going to cost $2,000, if I've got it, I'm going to fucking spend it, of course.
Yeah, you're going to try and figure it out. So,
and I just read an article a couple of weeks ago that I had flagged for us, but I'll just mention it in passing now. It was an article about things the TSA keep, that people that go through security or whatever.
Pocket knives.
Yes, I lost my Swiss Army knife. I made it all the way to Mexico and back, but in my connecting flight in Denver, they found a Swiss Army knife in my bag, and there was a day where you could travel with a pocket knife if the blade was less than like 3 inches or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still can about 70% of the time, from what I've found out.
Well, that was accurate because I made it through 3 airports before the fourth one finally caught me.
Yeah.
But the article was talking about the fact that this has always been a thing, but they've noticed in the last couple of years even more so, people that abandon their pets at the airport. That they get there to fly with them and board them, and there's some reason they can't, and people are just like, leave the dog here then.
Are you freaking imagine?
What the fuck?
Yeah. Boy,
how either poor or, just sociopathic are you that you're like, fuck it, just leave the golden retriever here.
Yeah, dude, that's
a bag of
crazy.
Chandler take him. Yeah, I can't fathom that.
No, nor can I. My sister has now, at the current moment, has 3 dogs. Started off with one who's the OG, been there the longest. He's like, I think he's 8 years old. She's got 2 puppies, basically, that are 7 months, 8 months difference, I think.
Yeah.
They are so in love with their 2 new dogs that the little one is not really getting the attention that it used to, because there's 3 to take care of now.
Yeah, the firstborn. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So my sister and her husband, we talk about it all the time. They're like, do you want to take Tucker? I'm just like, I mean, yes, I guess.
You want this slice of pizza?
Yeah, why don't you take him? And I tell my sister all the time, that boggles my mind that you just give your dog to me. And I mean, at least it's going to me, so you'll see it, you'll know it's taken care of. But so I don't know, we may take Tucker. We made a decision this week, and we may take Tucker.
What breed of dog is Tucker?
I don't know, dude, to be honest. He's just a cool dog. He's probably size of a bread loaf.
Small dog.
Oh, okay. So he's like the size of, is he bigger than Oliver?
No. He's smaller. He's smaller than Oliver.
Oh,
and they get along well. They've known each other for a long time and run around the yard together. So
does he get along with the Woodman?
It's better than Hannity, but still.
Yeah. Woody doesn't have a choice, Brewski. Woody is just, since Oliver, my dog and my cat's relationship has been tumultuous. They got along so well when Oliver first got here as a puppy. And then for maybe the first 3 years of his life, they used to chill on the couch and like snuggle and lay together. And now Oliver's just become a fucking bully to this cat. Every time the cat comes to me for love, Oliver jumps off the couch and fucking charges him.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do other than say, well, that's your life, Woody. Life's tough.
Therapy.
I try my best. We have our alone time. So.
Oh, boy.
No.
Oh,
not like that.
As the world turns.
Good old Tuckums. Going to join the Reynolds household.
Yes.
Well, he'll be a lucky dog for sure. But
I appreciate that. Hey, dude,
go ahead. I just have one last appearance question for you, if I could throw that out there.
Oh yeah, please do.
This is your first time wearing a hat on the show. Is that a Dave Matthews hat? Is that what that is?
Yeah, it is.
Damn, see how good I am.
You are good. Brewski wouldn't have known, right, Brewski?
No, because I automatically thought of
baseball player or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I could see
has
that.
The number 41 on his hat, which is
42 would have been like the number, because that's Jackie Robinson. But
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. Nice work, Harness. Nice work.
Yeah. I'm just trying to be perceptive like that. Dave has a song named 41. And I don't know. I have a little bit of a cheers and jeers to give for Spotify that we can talk about later, but 41 is part of one of my things I'm upset with Spotify over. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be interested to hear it. That's a good cliffhanger for a Dave fan.
There you go. So stay tuned.
Okay.
Don't skip around. You might miss it, okay?
Yeah, don't miss it.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, I was thinking about this, and I don't want to go the show. Sometimes we miss shit just because we run out of time. The whole Tyree Nichols thing, all right?
Oh.
I mean, I'm thinking today, I was just like, maybe I do just a quick brief moment of not silence. Yeah, silence for Tyree Nichols. And I thought, this is not the time to be fucking silent, dude. I mean, it's the time to get loud that this has happened again. I just cannot believe.
Yeah, it's kind of falling into my same category of public shootings where it happens so often, I don't know what I'm supposed to do anymore. Like, obviously it's outrageous, but it's just every time this happens, we get outraged. Protests happen, nothing changes. It happens again. Protests happen, nothing changes. I'm running out of indignation for this thing that has just become sadly normal.
Yes.
You know what really struck me about it was, and I hadn't seen.
No pun intended.
But what? No,
Steven.
But I hadn't seen the silent video, the one that came from the building that was shooting onto the street, not the body cam video.
Mm-hmm.
And that video from the building shows him being held up and them taking turns, just like rearing back and throwing punches and hitting him in the face. And that sort of thing, and just the brutality of it, and him getting passed around, like thrown from guy to guy as they're punching him, and I don't get people. I just don't understand.
I was listening. I'm in a full transparency, dude. I haven't watched any video. I heard the police chief talking about the fact that
Looks like the Rodney King video.
She said, it made George. She didn't necessarily say this, but the sentiment of the comment was it made George Floyd look like, so little compared to what happened here. I was so confused by what happened, why it was happening. I mean, it was a full on beatdown.
Oh, it was awful. And the thing about it is that he was able to escape from them after they had tased him, and he ran away. And I guess he was gone for a little bit, and they finally found him and caught up with them. And that's when you see that one video that's silent, that you don't hear any audio from, because it's shot from a building, a security camera from a building. Yeah. And it's just this rage, as if you had some sort of nerve to try and get away from people who were physically harming you, and now we're going to make it even worse. You didn't take your beating the first time, so now we're going to make sure you take it. It's awful.
It's it may be a little selfish that I haven't watched the video. I mean, I haven't watched it because I don't want to see it. I mean, the George Floyd videos obviously fucked all of us up a whole bunch, so I haven't been able to watch it.
I don't even know if you need to. It does go back to the Rodney King thing. I mean, it's cops just pummeling the living shit out of a defenseless black man. I mean, I don't know what the visual adds to that per se.
Well, I was going to say real quick. I wasn't seeking the video out. I happened to be scrolling on Twitter, and somebody had posted it, and there it was. I was scrolling, and it was right in front of me.
Sure.
And
I don't begrudge anyone from watching it. I just and like I said, it may be selfish that I haven't watched it. Maybe I should fucking see it to get.
It will make you make you sad, especially when you think about him yelling out for his mother.
Right.
And they always say that that people will call out to their mother, the giver of life, when they see that their demise is imminent.
Yeah. No, it's beyond heart-wrenching and sad. And the ironic thing to me is that there's only one group of people that can solve this problem, and it's not any of us. It's fucking the police. Yeah. They have this generational mentality that they are in some category where they're allowed to throw a beat down because they put their lives on the line and whatnot. But it's the thin blue line. It's that whole concept that allows this sort of shit to go on.
Yeah.
Cops have to start calling out the bad cops. Not all cops are bad. I would argue probably the majority have their hearts in the right place and are out there trying to do a good job. But you're a bad cop if you don't call out the worst cops. You know what I mean? You have got to hold each other accountable. That is the only way. Change this institutionalized mentality that it's okay to give someone a beat down because they took a swing at you. You're the professional. You've been trained. You've got the gear. Knock it the fuck off.
100%, dude. I would implore anyone who is a police officer to feel okay with going in and saying, you know what, I don't have enough fucking training. Like, fucking train me to deal with situations better, and I'll do them. I'll do them just as I'm supposed to. Yeah. But ask for the fucking training, dude. I mean, the amount of training that most officers get, it's unfair.
Yeah. I mean, de-escalation should always be the first step. And even if the guy does take a swing at you or spit on you or whatever, once you've got them in handcuffs or you've got them subdued, like, you've got to stop. You're the professional. You got to rise above this. And when cops start calling each other out, that's when this will finally stop.
Yes.
But the thin blue line concept is the entire fucking problem.
They won't do it, though, because they're all part of the same union. And
that's what I'm saying, though. But if enough of them do, then they can. The others will become the minority.
But even if there are bad cops amongst them, it seems like more of them have the it's us against them mentality.
Yes, this is what I'm saying. That mentality has to end. And I know there's more good cops, but my point is you're not a good cop if you're not calling out the other people that are doing this kind of shit.
Violence is complicity, dude.
Of course. I mean, it was all, whatever, 4 of the cops beating this guy. There wasn't even one of them that stood up and was like, guys, stop this shit. Or went and immediately reported it. As we've seen with all of these things, if there was no video of it, we would never hear about it. And that shit has to fucking stop.
Well, you know, there's one of the cops that actually shut his body camera off. Yeah. But he shut the video off, but he didn't shut the audio portion of it off. And it actually recorded him and the other cops laughing about what they did and joking about, boy, I hit him really good on that one, didn't I? And just joking about it. And that made it even worse, just even more disgusting, as if that were even possible.
Yeah, psychologically sick, dude. I mean, it is. It's a sickness that if you are part of that whole thin blue line thing, that's a fucking mental disorder that you should go get help for immediately.
Yeah. You're the reason the police's reputation has been destroyed. They want to blame the protesters and the media for showing this stuff. It's you. It's your coworkers. You have created this. And I know there was an era where, you know, in the movies, when the cop would beat the suspect to get a confession, we would all cheer and stuff. And that whole mentality is just, it's aged out. It's gone. You have to be a professional, and you have to hold yourself and your coworkers to a certain standard.
The question is, has this become American culture? I mean, is this the hill we stand on? This is who we are?
Yeah, well, it has become that, but it's like the Me Too movement. If you bring enough attention to it, people start to realize, like, maybe this isn't okay, and maybe there is going to be accountability. Even if I do want to sexually harass my female coworker, I now understand there's consequences. But in the police world, there are none unless you're on video. And trusting them not to cover or turn off their own cameras is not good enough.
No, dude, they should not be able to turn off their fucking cameras. Exactly. How about that?
Shouldn't even be an option. Totally. Yeah. So, no, it's fucking disgusting. But yeah, we've got to put more pressure on the good cops, quote unquote, out there to turn in their brothers in blue and take your fucking thin blue line flags down. First of all, it's disrespectful to change the colors of the American flag for your little pet project.
Only when we do it. I mean, they can wear the American flag. They can do all kinds of shit, but God forbid a guy takes a knee during a salute to it.
Well, but Black Lives Matter didn't change the American flag for their little project. That's what I'm saying. Like, I see the thin blue line flags, the Blue Lives Matter flags, and it's disrespectful to change the flag. And by the way, blue lives is not an ethnicity. It's a fucking career profession choice you made.
Yeah.
So,
dude, I just can't imagine. I mean, I like I said, I haven't watched the videos, but I've obviously watched a lot of coverage on it. And for all our black brothers and sisters in this world right now, I think to myself, I cannot imagine how fucking frightening it is to leave the house.
Right.
Like, this is just fucking nuts to me.
It's a reality that none of us can truly understand. I think we can empathize and sympathize with it, but none of us truly understand that. I've been pulled over by the cops so many times where I yes sir, no sir my way out of it. And not everyone's got that option. They're guilty, you know. So And yeah, I had a friend up here. Well, use that term loosely, but they were a Facebook friend, and they work in the 911 dispatch area. And I think it was, I'm blanking on his name now, the guy in New York that was selling cigarettes and they choked him out on the streets.
Eric Garner.
Yes. On that case, she was defending the cops, saying that he said he couldn't breathe. Therefore, he could breathe because he was speaking.
Yeah, I'm tired of that too. You don't know what medical condition anyone fucking has. You don't know what a stupid fucking thing to say.
And that's what the last gasp is. You're losing air and you're screaming out, I can't breathe. That's your dying words. And to sit there and go, he can breathe, he's talking. Like, what kind of fucking asshole are you?
Heartless fucker, dude.
So yeah, it's worth mentioning, Nick, for sure. But it's like gun control problems. Like none of us can solve this problem. I mean, they're obviously different debates, but the whole, like, we just keep talking about it, and Joe citizens aren't solving either of these problems. Gun control is a different thing, but the Blue Live stuff, like, you guys have just got to start narking on each other. End this culture of putting up with this shit and covering up for your brother in blue.
Yeah. It just, you know what, and what you just said fucking sucks, dude, because you do you feel helpless about it. You want to make a change, and if it is truly out of your control to even chip away at the fucking problem, like, that's fucking hopeless.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of people have said that this guy did what, the talk tells you to do. He was telling the cops, like, I'm cooperating, I'm down. You got me in stop. I'm here. I'm not fighting. What else was he supposed to do at that
The fuck
point?
is this Scorpion gang? I mean,
It's a special unit for certain crime, and that's just what they call the unit.
I know.
It's kind of like an auto task force, but this was like a crime task force of some sort in Memphis, I guess.
Well, thank God it's been fucking dismantled. But I mean, even more so, this is like the guys just like fucking strapping up all the gear. They feel like the great American fucking hero because they're on the task force. And you are going after stolen cars, and you're wearing fucking plain clothes, and you don't think that's going to scare somebody who's not doing anything nefarious?
Absolutely. Task force implies that you have some level of experience and credibility. The average age of that task force was like 27. Like, these are people that only by definition could have been a few years into their career.
If that,
I got pulled over in Seattle once by an unmarked car, and I went on the local radio about it. I was so outraged over the concept that somebody can throw a siren in their in the windshield and pull me over in the dark road in the middle of the night. Like,
I tell my wife if you get pulled over by an unmarked car, you fucking drive to a gas station slowly before you pull over. Yep. But again, that's white privilege. I mean, we'd probably be allowed to drive into the fucking gas station, like he was.
Listen, a white female like your wife would probably stand a better chance. But when I went on the radio in Seattle, and they brought in the police chief to debate me over this practice of unmarked cars pulling people over, and he told me, he was like, you should have just kept driving to a local gas station. And I said, yeah, there would have been 20 of you waiting there for me. I would have been spread eagle on the hood of that car, probably punched in the ribs a couple of times before I ever had a chance to explain why I kept driving.
That's a fact.
Why is the burden on me to make sure that you're all safe?
Yes, right.
You're the one that chose to be in a job that could put you in potential danger.
And that doesn't mean we can't be grateful for the fucking job you do, but you did sign up for it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm sick of people saying that too, that just because we're criticizing the cops, that we're anti-police or something. No, obviously we need police. The defund the police does not actually mean, fire police. It means put resources in different areas. But yeah, cops are obviously needed and generally good people. I know a lot of cops who are very good people. I've had encounters with them over these years. So sure. But again, you're not actually a good cop if you're not calling out the bad ones. Just because you're not the one kicking the guy on the ground, if you're not calling out your partner, now you're a bad cop too. Because that's the way the law works, right? If you all commit a crime together, you're all guilty.
Well, yeah, it's a conspiracy.
Yes.
You're working in concert.
It's also domestic terrorism, dude. You lay down with dogs, you get up with fleas. So fucking say something, please.
Yep. So yeah.
See something, say something.
That's right, Brewski. Say it for the people in the back, Brewski.
See something, say something.
That is correctamundo.
Yeah. So
enough said.
Indeed.
Oh, yeah. All right. We solved that problem for everyone. So
let's move it right along. Got a lot to do today.
Right. Let's talk about my dating life now. Let's start.
Oh, Steve, that's funny and doesn't surprise me at the same time. There was a serious note on that, wasn't there, Steve? Because you have great things to tell us of Dottie, the land of dating with Stephen Harness.
Would you like to talk about Dottie? Would you like to talk about Spotify? These are my personal subjects of the week.
Why don't you spin the wheel, Brewski, and let it land where you'd like.
What do you think, Brewski? Spotify or dating life? What do you want to hear about first?
Let's go to Spotify first.
Okay, good. You may or may not like this, actually. I don't know. So here's the thing. This sort of ties into Dottie because I've had this reinvigorated love of music recently. I mean, music has been a part of my life since I was a teenager and, playing in the band and getting into radio, music and all that stuff. But
it's wonderful.
It is wonderful. Music means a lot to me. However, for the last, 10, 15 years of my life, Nick and I work at a radio station here in Lake Tahoe, and that is all I listen to. I listen to that station almost exclusively. And if there's not new music that's on KRLT, then I don't know it. I don't seek it out. I don't go into my CD collections anymore. I don't go into my MP3s. I don't listen to old stuff. I only listen to what we play. And we play a lot of good music, obviously, so it's been a good source and needed.
The program director thanks you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yes, Nick is the program director, and seriously, dude, you I know we kind of set the format up together, but you've run with it, and you pick all sorts of great stuff.
Well, I appreciate that, dude. I think the station sounds great.
It does, and you've made me look good by proxy. There's been a few songs of late where I'm like, oh yeah, have you ever heard of Family of the Year, or have you ever heard of some of these songs Nick has put on the station where I flex and try to pretend like I created them.
Good.
But anyways, my point is, I kind of stopped listening to music, and Dottie and I have been sharing a lot of music. That's been one of the big connections we have, and so because of that, I broke down, and I'm now paying for Spotify. Because
congratulations!
Yay!
Congratulations! Now I will say, prior to us starting this podcast 5-6 months ago, I was very anti-Pandora Spotify because we work at a local radio station, and that's a big competitor of ours. So I never wanted to subscribe or give them any credence. But we're on Spotify now, literally for this podcast.
Right.
And, with all this music going around, I was getting sick of hearing the ads, so I decided just to break down. And I've been listening to a lot of stuff. I mean, I was listening to Pink Floyd last night. I've listened to just everything from my personal category. A lot of these songs that Dottie's been sending me. I mean, so my love of music has been sort of rejuvenated beyond just the local radio airwaves, and
that's fantastic, dude. I love. It's cyclical for me. Like most of the time, I always music's around me, but like sometimes I get into the deep dive couple of months like you're in now.
Yeah.
I got the vinyl all set up 2 weeks ago, so I've been just going through all my old vinyl, finding some great stuff. Yeah.
And music, it is therapeutic. It does soothe the soul. It can enhance moods, all that kind of stuff. So I encourage everyone to, find what you like and keep listening. But so signing up for Spotify, first, let me just say one of the criticisms I've noticed. They need to hire someone like a Nick Reynolds they need to hire somebody from the radio world to help them with the way they play music. I'm assuming they hired a bunch of coders and not somebody that's ever programmed a radio station.
Tech bro.
Yes. A couple of pet peeves. First of all, their shuffle mode.
Yes.
Apparently they just truly shuffle it. Like at a radio station, we put all this music into a program and then the program quote unquote shuffles it. But
mathematically.
But we set up rules, right?
Yes.
We have artist and title separations. That's a big thing in the world of radio. Think at Christmas time. If you've got 20 versions of A White Christmas, you don't want them playing back to back or anywhere near each other, even though they may have separate artists, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So someone's got to do that shit, first of all, because I've noticed when I shuffle, I've got a playlist right now that I put together, some stuff I love. It's not even that big, like 30, 40 songs. And there's probably 4 Dave Matthews songs on there. And last night it shuffled through Dave in order. Like
really?
It skipped everything else.
That's not shuffling.
No, I mean, I'm sure the algorithm was randomly picking and somehow coincidentally randomly picked 4 Dave Matthews songs in a row. But
there should be a rule for that to not happen ever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so easy. Just put an artist separation. It's a breakable rule, we call it. So if you have no other choice but Dave, you can do another one. But if you've got 27 other songs to pick from, pick one of them first. That is such a geek algorithm thing. Just truly shuffle. But no, you got to put some parameters on it.
Yep,
And
I agree.
I've noticed too, like if on my Pearl Jam channel, I'll get 3 versions of Alive within a couple of songs of each other. Because in its computer mind, those are different tracks. Because one was recorded live at this play, but I don't need to hear 3 versions of Alive within 15 minutes of each other.
No.
Put a title separation on these things, please.
Are you listening, Spotify?
I hope you are.
These are big problems that we can solve. You can reach us at 1-800.
Yes. Let me tell you, you hire the vocal minority, not only will we do a phenomenal podcast for you, but we'll fix your fucking music category problems with artist and title separations.
Please, a real champion.
Please do. Give us a call. I mean, we'll take care of all your needs. It seems that you're struggling, so we can perfect something over there to get you on track.
We've literally done this kind of thing for years, so we can help you. We can help trim and tone your music. That's my other pet peeve I'm noticing, which is part of why I pointed out your hat earlier, number 41. So when you're doing a live track, this happens on every live album. Like they play the song, and then that track keeps going. Like the applause fades out, but then the singer usually comes out and starts talking about the next song they're going to play.
Right.
But it's still on the previous song's track because they want the next track to start when the song starts.
Correct.
And I have One Sweet World live at Luther College on one of my playlists. And after One Sweet World, Dave comes on and starts talking about, we're going to play a song. It's called 41, as it was
very creatively.
Yes, the 41st song.
The 41st song we wrote, yes.
And then the track ends and it goes to some other song. Trim that shit out. I don't need to hear him talking about the next song.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's how, if you play it on the CD, that's exactly how it rolls. But you would think that they should tighten that up for Spotify.
We have multiple live Dave tracks on KROT. And what did we do? We trimmed and toned. There's a little tone you can put there so that when the computer hears it, it jumps to the next track, fades it out, goes to the next track.
Yeah.
So I don't. It's an intern can do this. I mean, you can certainly pay us a lot of money and we'll do it. But take the time. Certainly on the big albums, the live albums that people are streaming all the time, like fucking trim and tone those things. So I don't need to hear the 30 seconds of applause followed by 2 minutes of the singer talking about some story before it then flips to some other song. So
these are the thoughts of a new Spotify user. I mean, take them seriously, please.
Thank you. Yes.
We've all been worn down, Steve. We don't talk about this anymore because we know it never changes. So I'm glad that you're stepping up.
It's a fresh set of ears. And I will say, I understand the love of, putting your own playlist together and all that stuff. I can see that radio probably will die at some point. It's not happening as soon as a lot of assholes are telling me it's going to, but at some point, local radio, I don't know. It's either going to have to reinvent itself a little or it may actually die because I get it.
Well, a lot of radio companies have been getting into other media avenues. And by that, I mean, locally here, there's a radio group that owns a station that I listen to, and they actually have a whole digital area where that is advertising that if your business isn't the top law firm, when people go and search top law firm, that they have a service that they offer through this particular radio group to create your site and make sure that it's top, and all that. But they're doing web design but then obviously they integrate that advertising for that law office, not just the web, but then, hey, how about we pair it with some radio and that sort of thing too?
I've noticed a lot of companies doing that too, yes.
Radio stations, and especially in the larger markets, you're going to have to make a pivot at some point here and start monetizing in different ways, right? Because I remember the days, dude, when we first started in radio, like when a morning show spot would bring, $1,000 for a 60-second spot. Those days are gone.
Yeah, now there's more ways to spend marketing, and there's a perception the radio's dying, and part of that is the industry's fault, I will tell you, because in the good old days, 60s, 70s, 80s, even into the 90s, radio stations were super localized. not every rock station in every town had the exact same fucking playlist. Everyone had something unique. They had unique local DJs. And most importantly, they talked about the community they were in, and they went out into the community they were in, doing live events and remote broadcast. And the radio industry, before Pandora and Spotify became big, they realized, boy, we can save a bunch of money if we program every station to sound the same. If we have the same morning show on every station, the same midday guy.
Right.
But then you're just homogenizing yourself. You're making yourself Pandora or Spotify. You're just some glorified playlist. So if radio goes back to being unique in your market, involved in your town, and offering some more of these multimedia things like we do at our station, we include online or Facebook posts, like, that kind of thing. It can survive, but I don't know. They're going to have a serious wake-up call here. So.
Yeah, it's going to get harder and harder, dude.
See how that goes.
Steve, you always say how you watch Shark Tank.
Yeah.
And so, Mark Cuban obviously is one of the
sharks.
One of the sharks on there. Yeah. And he had this quote about the NFL and how they've kind of gotten a little too kind of greedy and that sort of thing. And I think the same thing could be said of the radio groups that you're talking about, where they were homogenizing themselves, where Mark Cuban said pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered.
Yeah.
And when the hogs got really big and fat and they were homogenizing themselves, that's when people stopped listening to local radio because it didn't hit them personally.
Yeah. The ironic thing is talk radio is still doing very well in local markets because it's talk. It's not something you can homogenize with a playlist. But all the new talent has gone to the world of podcasting. So the talkers that are out there right now doing talk radio, they're going to retire or die at some point, and there is nobody there to take that spot. And again, the industry did this to themselves by not fostering new talent.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's that. The good thing about Spotify, first of all, yes, I'm loving that I don't need a CD. I can find any song now on there, and it's cool. And I do like that they make some suggestions of, if you like this song, maybe you like this song. So, there are lots of good stuff going there. But I will tell you, and this is the part, Brewski, I didn't know if you were going to love it or hate this, but I discovered something phenomenal about Metallica on Spotify recently.
Okay.
Now, first of all, I've been, when I'm like cleaning or cooking, I always have like my Metallica channel on. I need something kind of upbeat. And I found it fucking hilarious that a couple episodes back, Brewski and I were debating, is Metallica a hard rock band or are they a metal band? My son the other day walks in while Metallica's playing and he says something like, "It's hard to talk to you with this hard rock heavy metal music playing."
Oh, he
intuitively
brought you together. Yeah.
I just thought that was hilarious. To the 13-year-old, right, would just be like, "This is hard rock heavy metal. It's not either." Like, he didn't hear our debate. That's just what.
Yeah.
He's inclusive, dude. He wants to include everybody. Please.
He's bringing it all together. I get it. Yeah.
And I will tell you on that topic, Metallica's got a new album out. It's something about suicide. I can't remember what the name of it is, like S for Suicide or something. But I'll tell you, man, if I woke up from a coma, I would think that was Metallica from the 80s. I mean, they've gone back to this longer, more the metal opera, like, hard rock and not a 3.5-minute song. Like, so there is, I don't know if they're hearing the complaints or whatever, but they do see.
So Lars's wife isn't holding his balls anymore, and
that could be.
Yes. Remember, she's the one that made them cut their hair, and also, but she's the one that was pushing him to do that, like cut the hair and play songs that are write songs that are more radio friendly and that sort of thing.
Wait, hold on, the Black Album came out way before Lars met his wife. I know that for sure, and that was radio friendly.
Well, that one, I wouldn't say that one is super radio friendly. I'm talking about after that album in particular. That's when things really started to get into like Hero of the Day and all that sort of thing, or Fuel. And
have you heard the story about Lars meeting his wife?
No.
It's a funny story. His wife is a successful surgeon, and they met at some bar, and he was talking to her, and you're a surgeon, and she was like, "What do you do?" And he's like, "I'm the drummer for Metallica." And she's like, "Who? For what?" Like she didn't know Metallica from A Hole in the Wall. And he was like, I fell in love, like a woman who doesn't know me as, Lars from Metallica. And I was,
well, she knows you for who you are as a person, as opposed to what you do and what you have attached to you because of what you do and that sort of thing.
Right. So he said that was sort of my first, like, ooh, let me talk more to this woman.
well, yeah. I mean, I can see that because then she's not going to get caught up in the bullshit.
Right.
And she's like, so.
So let me ask you a question, Brewski. The Black Album marked a change in the sound of Metallica, not just the radio-friendly shorter songs, but their guitars became heavier, the drums, the bass, everything became fatter and thicker, and it's the sound they have kept since then. When I go back and listen to the old albums, Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, Kill 'Em All in particular, there's a thinness to them. The guitars, the drums, they're just a little thin. Do you notice that?
But you know what it is? That could also be something on the producing end of things too.
It's exactly what it is. Yes.
Because let's remember, wasn't it? I think around Metal Blade or Metal Edge Records, like when they first started out, that small label out of New Jersey and that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's a little garage shit.
Yes.
But even as you got into the more major label sort of stuff, as you get some money and that sort of thing, they still kind of stayed with that same song, that same sort of
they had the same producer back for all those albums, and that was their sound, and it's all they knew, and it's all they had ever developed. But on the Black Album, they started working with Bob Rock, who I have some objections to. He's kind of mainstream, but he gave them that sound. I mean, he made the guitar super thick. He made the drums really booming, the bass really, fat.
Don't you think it was required? Because that's the era of them going on MTV and actually... I'll never forget Metallica during that Black Album was on fucking MTV every fucking 15 minutes. And I mean, to be able to be commercially widespread successful like that on MTV at that time, you have to have that sound.
Yes, I would agree. Well, I would argue they probably have to have the more 3.5 minute radio friendly kind of stuff, but Bob Rock made them sound thicker and fatter. They probably could have kept that old sound from their original producer and probably still had the same level of success. But Metallica's taken on a different sound nowadays. My point is, on Spotify, I don't know when this came out, and there's some Metallica fans that are probably going to tell me I'm way behind the cue ball on this one, but they remastered every old album. They went back, and Bob Rock must have been involved, because they took the original recordings and made it sound like their new sound.
Interesting.
And all the songs on Spotify are the remastered. And normally when I see remastered, it's kind of a gimmick. Maybe you brighten things up a little bit. It sounds like an entirely different album.
Do you think they re-recorded them?
No. You can tell it's the original recordings and all that, but everything sounds so much better. The guitars are so much heavier. Even a song like Fade to Black, the acoustic guitars just sounds fuller and brighter, and then the fucking chorus kicks in, and you're like, this is Metallica live. But they've redone those recordings.
There's also something that has a charm to it. With going back to listen to Master of Puppets and noticing that it's a little thinner and a little rawer, that is nostalgic to me. That's the same reason I listen to vinyl, dude, because I want to hear it as it was done at that time.
Yeah, I think those albums were not done justice. No pun intended. Hear them reworked. I mean, I still have the original recordings, and you can find them on Spotify. But it is a night and day difference, and I was impressed for sure.
Isn't it the same thing though as going to like a Rembrandt and it needs a little blue here or a little brown here, and we would never do anything like that.
No, it's like cleaning an old Rembrandt that's gotten dirty and musty over the years.
No, because you're not bringing it back to an original condition. You're changing it.
No. Yeah. Well, listen, maybe, but I dig it. It's what Metallica sounds like live when they play those songs, but it's not a re-recording.
But if you're a fan and you like that, awesome, that's great. For someone like me, I'm not that guy. I want the original recording. I know what I like.
Sure. Listen, I can dig that and respect it for sure, but I don't know, man. I was listening in my car in a good sound system, and I was just like, I didn't even know it was remastered. And some of these songs started playing. I'm like, God damn, this sounds so much fatter and thicker. Then I started reading the fine print. I'm like, oh, remastered.
Have you guys know this because you've been in radio? You ever hear somebody speak on the radio and you know that their voice has been like processed and everything, and you're like, wait a minute, he doesn't sound like that. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
That's I guess the way I would kind of feel.
I don't feel like it's. I mean, it's still them. It's still the original recordings. They just are produced better. And that wasn't Metallica's fault back then. That was just the sign of the time. So normally, like I said, remaster doesn't mean much to me.
Sure.
But this is the first time I've heard something remastered where I'm like, I hear the difference and I fucking dig it. So
yeah, hey, as long as you
I would
like
encourage Metallica fans to go check it out and judge for yourself if you think the originals or the remastered are better. But I'm sold. So thank you, Spotify. I appreciate it.
That's the one cool thing about the platform. There's just endless content for everybody.
Yeah.
We don't all have to dig the same thing. We could go find our own shit, right?
Well, and if I saw the remastered albums on a store shelf, which I don't even think they do that anymore. I always joke about that on the radio. Like, where do you buy new music? It's all online, right?
It's coming out in, for instance, I'll just happen to say this because, you brought it up, but Dave is just announced his release for his next studio record.
Yeah.
And they gave the people who subscribe to the Warehouse, which is his club online, pre-sale, right, to go buy vinyl, CD, digital download.
Okay.
So I was surprised they were still putting out CDs, but they are, and vinyl's obviously made a resurgence with the hipsters,
the music lover. Yeah, I get it. My point is, if I saw a remastered Metallica album, I wouldn't buy it. But because I discovered on Spotify, I'm like, oh, hey, actually, I probably would buy it. So
there's another great comment, Spotify, from a new set of ears. You're doing something right.
Same with podcast. I don't think anyone's buying us off the shelf. But if you find us on Spotify, you'll find it. And we're remastering ourselves every episode. We're always bigger and better. So
we're always making changes.
Those are my critiques on you, Spotify. Give us a call. We're ready for you. So.
Yeah, please, anytime now. We are suffering for oxygen.
Yeah, indeed. So, yeah, all right. That's my musical thing. Do we move on to dating or other topics in life?
Go for it.
Let's get to the Dottie story.
All right. Well, apparently, apparently my person now is named Dottie because she and I have been going back and forth this week over. I told her a week ago that you guys came up with this name Dottie because we're not going to use her real name on the show. And I said, listen, we got a week. Otherwise, this Dottie thing is going to stick. I can't stop it. The momentum's already there.
Unstoppable.
And we failed to come up with a good name. So,
here we are.
You could always go with Star.
No, we're not changing it. I love it. Brewski came up with Dottie. I give him full credit for it. And
that's because I was thinking of Elizabeth Daly, who was Dottie in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Well, when I told Rachel, I was like, we're calling her Dottie. And she said, from Pee-wee Herman? And I was like, yeah.
That's
exactly right.
Hey, good on her. Why did you just say Star, by the way?
Oh, because
where'd that come from?
Because I'm sitting here, and when I look off to my right, I have this milk carton here.
And that's it. Let me explain for the people. That's a reprint. Okay, he's not a psycho. He's holding up a milk carton with a missing kid on it. And where is that from, Brewski? Please explain.
From the Lost Boys. This is Laddie, the little kid from Lost Boys. And remember, he was listed as missing and on the back of the milk carton. And so I saw it. And so Laddie was looking at me, sitting off to my right here on top of my Fall Guy lunchbox. And I thought of Star, Jamie Gertz's character from the Lost Boys.
And we have just paused for a brief space in Brewski's mind. What's that?
Memorabilia he's got within arm's reach. Right.
Oh, this is Fall Guy. Fall Guy, yeah, with the thermos too.
Nice. That's an old metal lunchbox. Fall Guy's on Netflix, by the way. I just saw it last night.
Oh, really?
Through there, so yeah.
I'm not going back to watch any more old shows, and I'll tell you why. Because I fucking did it for MacGyver, and I was so fucking disappointed. I loved MacGyver when I was a kid. And I thought, I'm going to go watch it as an adult. It is the hokiest fucking shit I've ever seen in my life.
Right.
And I thought, you know what? If that's MacGyver, then I'm fucking super MacGyver. He's doing stupid shit.
It's a fair point. I've noticed that with some stuff, too. I tried to watch a Knight Rider not too long ago, and I was like, man, I don't remember it being this fucking corny.
And for the shows that were meant to be corny back then, it's a little easier. I still watch Welcome Back, Kotter, and all those shows. I watch, so I could do it with a comedy, but a drama, not so much. Oh, there's Vinny Barbarino, dude. Brewski's just holding up all kinds of gear. Are those? Is that a garbage pail? A metal garbage pail?
That it is, yes.
That's a
Brewski lives in a 70s and 80s TV show museum.
Yes,
pretty much.
It all works.
I love it, dude. That's a nice one.
I just find it odd that you said star, because that's become. I always look for signs. Like, I believe in the concept that the universe points out things to you.
Yeah.
Stars has become a revolving theme.
Really?
Yeah. One of my nicknames I'm calling Dottie is Stardust, because
that's awesome.
It came about from Ziggy Stardust. And we were talking classic rock and Bowie, and I was just like, man, you're out of this world. You're fucking Stardust. That's what you are. And now I keep seeing all these star things, and I was pulled out of her house the other day. The vanity plate in front of me was Stargazer. Her teacher was talking about something about the stars, or will guide you, and I'm just like, why is all the star stuff coming up all of a sudden? So
there is something to this, Steve. All right, and I don't want to crush your dream, but
I know what you're going to say, that you dial into these things and they're all out there.
You sure do. We do, right? We see a Corvette and we're like, oh, that's really cool, and then we start fucking seeing them everywhere.
Right. Sure. You cannot assume that every sign in this world is designed for you. That would be very narcissistic, myopic sort of way to look at this world. There are signs out there for all of us, but you got to start to dial in on them.
Listen.
And yeah, when you start to pick up on them, you'll start to notice more. But if you don't start to pick up on them, you'll never notice.
You're right. I'm not putting you down, dude. I'm not putting you down.
Jack off my spirit.
I've got a Stardust suggestion for you.
Sure.
So do you know about the old casino in Las Vegas called the Stardust?
Yes.
Okay, look at a picture of one of their signs when you get a chance, and look at that script that they came up with for that sign right there. And I guarantee you'll anything I can find Stardust, I buy for my sister, because she loved that casino.
Yeah,
and she loves that logo and that sort of thing. And you might dig that, because it's kind of fun. There's a lot of fun stuff out there.
And by the way, let's just talk about that sign. I said, what's a name for Dottie? And the first thing he says is star. He didn't just list 50 things. Why would he pick star?
Because he was staring at a picture. He just told you, dude.
He's staring at 100 things right now. Look at it.
In my room, yes.
He didn't say color Vinny Barbarino. Like, there's 100 things around him.
Listen.
Somehow he said star.
This is what I want to know. Are you on a pathway to doing ecstasy in the desert with this woman? Are you going to start playing the bongos, and where are we going?
Peyote.
We actually have talked about bongo drums.
Fuck me, dude. I knew it. I knew it.
Here
like butt bongo fiesta, like Howard Stern style.
Oh,
I've been playing some of those too, actually.
Remember, your mom's listening, Steven.
Yeah, we'll get to that part of the story too. But
listen, you are going to be at Coachella next year, and you will be at some desert music festival dancing to EDM before we know it.
I don't know about EDM, but good rock and roll or something, maybe. We've talked about shrooms.
Good times.
She is curious about them. She has microdosed before, but she's never full-on tripped. And I had told her, like, Nick just brought this up. Why don't we all take a trip to Colorado, where shrooms are legal now? So, yeah, we've dangled that possibility of taking a trip. But
good for you.
Yeah, we'll see. So anyways, my point is, Dottie seems to be sticking, because we did not come up with a better name, and I don't know what else to call her at this point. And it's kind of fun with Pee Wee Herman and all that stuff. So.
And so it is decided.
Apparently. She last night was like, why don't we use my real name and just tell everyone it's a fake name? That'll throw them off.
No, it won't.
I'm gonna have to say it's a fake name every time I say your name, otherwise they'll assume it's a real name. And
yeah, people are going to be looking up Dottie, for crying out loud.
Right.
Yeah.
And there can't be that many nurses in her town named her name. It's kind of a unique name. So yeah. So Dottie and I went out last week, midweek. We went go-kart racing.
Hey, back up for 2 seconds.
Oh, sure. Yes.
How are you referring to her with this new nickname? Please do give me an example.
Hey, Dottie, how's it going?
No. Your new one. Your new Stardust, yes.
Sleep well, Stardust. Talk to you tomorrow.
You're just getting fucking romantic, dude.
Yeah, good for you.
I'm not normally a nickname guy either. I had a nickname for my wife, but it was based on a joke from Seinfeld. Schmoopadoodle, schmoopy-doop, like,
oh, Schmoopy, what's up, Schmoopy?
Yeah, and so that became a joke. It was never anything, romantic based. And you know, the Hindenburg, no nicknames for her or anything.
Which we came up with it after her, but that would have been a great one during.
It would have been, yes, blowing up in our faces. So, no, the Stardust thing came out organically. I don't just in everyday conversation call her that, but it's coming.
When you lay her down to go to bed or just say goodnight, I mean, and not, can I, let's have another cup of coffee, Stardust.
I think it's okay to slip in here and there. You can't just do that kind of thing in nausea, because then you become schmoopy doopy. Oh, schmoopy doopy.
Right. Now it's special.
Right.
Oh, Snickers.
So Ziggy and I went out the other night, and she suggested go-kart racing, and these are like the adult go-karts that go like 50 miles an hour.
Right.
And it was cool to see her on that mode, because she had brought it up, like, could we go go-kart racing? And I said, you give me anything with an engine on and I'll go fucking tear it up out there. So yeah, let's go do that. And she was a badass. She jumped the go a little bit, in my defense. Like the guy with the flag is like, ready, set.
She treed harness. That's what she did. She treed him.
Yes.
I thought she said she's never cheated, dude.
Yeah. I will tell you, like the guy told us, and like Tom Cruise taught us all, rubbing is racing. So
that's right.
Don't be afraid to get a little aggressive out there, but just don't, push each other into the wall or whatever. It was a 12-lap race. I spent probably 10 laps trying to catch up to her ass. Just, And I was drifting on a few corners. I was doing my race knowledge of, you either go wide so you keep your speed, or you cut in tight and then floor it. Like, you got to cut the
right. Yeah.
I was doing everything I could to catch up to this woman, and I finally caught up to her at the end. And you actually win those things based on your best lap time. My best lap time, and I know how to fucking drive and race. I only beat her by 0.2 seconds.
Oh, wow. Well, you did beat her, though.
I did, but just barely. So, photo finish. But
fantastic.
So, yeah, we had a super fun night. We went back to her place, and this is one of these moments of like, yeah, I'm with someone cool. We go back to her house, we crack a beer, we take a few vape hits, and she's like, hey, you want to watch the Foo Fighters documentary? I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to watch the Foo Fighters documentary. Like,
oh, now you are a champion.
I'm used to somebody like, you want to watch some old black and white movie? We can watch Gone with the Wind or something.
Want to watch Casablanca?
Oh, the fucking Hindenburg loved old movies. I'm like, shoot me in the face, please.
Did you tell her you loved her after she won, or you won the race?
No.
Good.
The L word
choice.
has not come up.
Oh, good. Are you going to share with us when it does? I just want to be forewarned.
I'll tell you, it's poked its head in here and there. There's been a few like, oh, I love that about you, or I love doing this with you, or something. Like,
okay.
It's floating in the stardust out there. So.
Huh. I don't know how I feel about that, Steve. I don't know, man.
Well, I'll get to the disapproval ratings that I'm getting in my life right now momentarily. But
okay.
So we had a great evening. We're drinking, we're smoking a little, we're watching Foo Fighters, and then we like, what? What are you laughing
Look at Brewski.
Is he throwing up? What's happening?
He's a little sick to his stomach.
Brewski, I was going to praise you as being one of the only people having my back right now. So
tremendous play by Brewski.
This is my thing. Is that
yeah.
I worry about a guy friend that is possibly saying I love you too early because I've been that guy.
Listen, I normally don't make it past the second date with someone I'm serious about without telling them that. So far I'm doing pretty well historically.
I've been that guy. And it's just a bad scene. It's not a good choice.
That's the beginning of the end, huh? Being open and honest.
No. I think being more introspective and make sure so that when you actually do say it,
yeah,
you 100% rock solid mean it.
Well, that's a great debate right there to have, because
you're right. I mean? That is a fucking fantastic debate to have, because we say the word in so many meanings.
Yes. I was thinking about that.
And we
this
shouldn't,
week.
right?
Well, I don't know if you should or shouldn't, because I was thinking about, like, make sure it's real before you say it. But then I'm like, I love my cat. I love pizza. I love this talk show. There's so many things that I say I love. Like, there is a wide spectrum, right?
But romantic love is different. And if someone ever tells you they love you, and they spell it Luvya, they don't really love you.
Okay, all right.
You're right. I mean, it is a distinction, right? It is. You're right, Brewski. 100%. I think we should be more responsible with the way we say it, only because it's such a fuck you to other people that you really do love, and if you just say it, I love you, and you just have a small love. Well, it's a fuck you to everyone else. So when you say it, Steve, when you do say it, you got to be fucking exploding with the emotion. Okay,
fair enough.
I just think that it will mean more between both you and Dottie if when that is said that. Yeah. It's something that you genuinely feel like. I
agree.
Even if it's a week from now, if you 100% in your heart feel I love this woman, then by all means, and anyone who tells you it's too early, fuck them.
Okay.
But
right, back on the winning team now.
Now you're back.
All
right, good.
Brewski wants praise now, Steve.
And I will say the love word in my house, like my kids and I say that word 100 times. I have been with the Hindenburg, told me like your kids say that so much. My parents never said they love me. I'm like, we say it just like I'm running out to get pizza. Love you. Like, I mean, the word flies around this house a lot. So.
And then you should have a talk with all of you, because listen, dude, that word should not be so thrown around. When you tell your kids you love them,
family,
you mean it, right? Yeah, you mean it.
Well,
I'm not just advocating for loosey goosey saying it to people. No.
Yeah, let's hold it to that standard.
But love does grow. So I think it's okay to say it when you cross the threshold, and it, of course, should grow over the years, but you can't wait for it to reach 100% before you ever say it.
I think you're supposed to say, I love you 1/10. I love you 2/10, right?
Well, do a checkup with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so have you guys ever seen the Payment Tommy sex tape?
Yes.
I mean, clips, I guess. I don't know. I've watched it cover to cover.
If you watch it, right, they're constantly telling each other, love you, love you, love you. And to me, it always
seemed to be a lot of love there. From what I saw.
But it seemed to me like they were talking themselves into it. Like they were having.
Yes, I couldn't agree more, Brewski.
Remind them that I love this person, I love him, and to me, whenever couples use it too much with one another, I always think, you know what, they really don't actually love each other. They think they do, but they're trying to talk themselves into it so that it actually feels like they do.
That's fair. I think once you cross the threshold, though, there's never enough love. Yeah, there's no like you're saying that too much or something.
Well,
you're right.
Yeah, I guess I was always like somebody that eventually, like, I pick and chose when I would say it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
open up your heart, Brewski. Let your love light shine.
Oh no, listen, I can tell you exactly where I was the minute I told Jen that I loved her for the first time.
Yeah,
I was in front of the Bank of America on Broadway in Seattle.
Boom.
And we were walking down to go to the Capitol Hill block party. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt. And at that moment, I was feeling.
And you felt it, right?
Yeah, because it was the right time to do it.
Yeah, the right time it was.
Yeah. Fuck the Wells Fargo. I'm glad you waited for Bank of America. That's good. No, listen. it hasn't happened, and it's not going to happen until I feel it. And once I feel it, though, then
good for you.
It can fly. So the rest of this night, we ended up, spending alone time.
Will you be guilted into saying it? Okay, because that's an issue.
It's never come up before. I'm always the first, so I don't know.
Well, this is new territory for you, dude. Because if she says "I love you" and you don't feel it quite yet, how does that work? Are you honest?
I'll be like fist bump, girl. That's cool. I think you're really special too. So, but what if her saying that then tips my scale over the precipice?
It's fine if it tips it out of love, but not out of guilt.
I agree. I don't think I would say it out of guilt. So,
because she could say it, and then all of a sudden you that hits you, and then all of a sudden you're like, boom, you explode, and then that's it right there.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of like asking someone to marry you. You shouldn't ask if you don't know what the answer is going to be.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't say "I love you" if you're not pretty confident they're going to say it back. But no, there's definitely a threshold for all this. So,
because I will tell you this that this is on the tail end of on the bad side of that "I love you" thing, right?
Yeah.
So before Jen and I officially broke up and that sort of thing, probably about 2 months leading up to the breakup, I would punctuate a phone call with saying, I love you. And then there would be this awkward silence. And then she would say, okay, well, yeah, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah, it can be an indication of the downward decline too, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
When the love you start getting pulled back.
That's
No, and I've noticed that as well in previous things. So I agree. So anyway, so yes, Foo Fighters, spent the night together, fell asleep holding hands under the covers.
Ow.
Isn't that just adorable?
That is. It's a great moment, dude. I mean, yeah, that's your love language, right?
It is. I like physical contact.
Steve just likes physical contact, especially
okay.
while he's going to sleep like that. I mean, come on.
Okay.
Yes. I usually will have a hand on the hip or, holding hand. That was cool. In the car, I'm usually have my hand on her, leg or knee or something. Like, I like contact. I like holding hands, that kind of thing. So
I get it.
She invented an emoji just for me, I feel. She sent me a, the upside down smiley face.
Yes.
Okay.
She sent the upside down smiley face with the kissing emoji next to it and said, that's a Spider-Man kiss.
Oh,
wow.
Wow. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that is something, dude. It's getting deep in here, dude.
I'll do a brewski and I'll grab my tchotchkes that are sitting around my within.
Oh yeah. Do you still have the Spider-Man I gave you years ago without the
I do.
The mask?
It's with my KTM. It's been in my garage. I always set it up on my workbench. It's always around my dirt bike. So yes, it's now in the garage.
With the removable Spider-Man mask?
Yeah, I didn't get the mask. He just has the Peter Parker head. But
I didn't give you the mask with it? I'm sorry about that.
It's tacky, but that's all right. No, and I've told my kids, like, that's a Brewski thing. Almost every Spider-Man I have, I never buy this stuff. People always give it to me. And yes. So yeah, Brewski gave me one. So but yeah, so I thought that was very cute. So the next day we wake up. And I said, it was early morning. She had to get off to her day. I had to get off to mine. But I felt like we had to have the conversation that we had all had on the show of, well, what are we calling this? Like, we're exclusive, but, so are we like boyfriend, girlfriend? What are we doing with this thing here? And she said, I would certainly like you to be my boyfriend. And I said, well, I would certainly like you to be my girlfriend. So,
wow.
So there we go.
Little Steven growing up before our eyes.
Right. I need some celebratory music. What the hell happened to my computer? I don't know if that's the music I was looking for, but
well, Dottie.
There it is. So yeah.
Very nice.
Oh, now you are a champion.
Well, dude, you said it. You got it out of the way. You just locked it up.
Indeed. Got to go for the sale, right? Get the yes. So, and like you said, if you're in a mutually exclusive relationship anyways, that's basically what it is. And yeah, so that's the biggest update for all of that.
Well, good for you. Congratulations.
Harness has got her on lock. Well, welcome to the family, Dottie.
Right. Come on in. Now, I will tell you, the other side of this coin, I've started to tell people in my life, like, hey, I'm in a relationship.
Really?
It's not been met with a smattering of applause, congratulations, or anything else.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
What did Misty have to say?
There's been a lot of skepticism. And
Misty doesn't know, dude.
No.
Come on, Misty knows everything.
Misty's in the loop. Misty supports what I'm doing. She supports taking a step at a time, looking for all the red flags. I'm keeping her in the loop on every nuance of this. So,
but does she know you locked it down, that you're boyfriend, girlfriend?
I haven't seen her since then.
That's what I mean, dude. She doesn't know yet. You're supposed to ask her before you do anything in your life, Steven.
It's funny that you say that, because I basically said something like that to her, like, should I be doing this? She's like, sounds like you are doing it. Like, I'm not here for permission. I'm here to guide you on your path, not tell you what to do.
Yes.
And that's the correct therapeutic answer. So
you better lock it up. Right. You lock it up.
So,
lock it up.
I'll be seeing Misty this week. We'll certainly give her the status update, but
if she shows disapproval, will you pull it back and say, "Yeah, I made it"?
She's not going to show disapproval. That's not her job.
I know.
It's her job to make sure I'm proceeding in life in a healthy and alert sort of fashion.
Yes,
I'm not going to hide shit from her. I've laid out every part of all this. So yeah. We did have the, like, do we change our relationship status talk? And I told her, I said, hey, you know, Dottie, here's the problem with that. I have a problem you don't because your kids are young. I'm Facebook friends with my kid.
And then you know what? They'll come back saying, hey, Dad, what's this all about?
Right. So I got to talk to them personally about it before I start to, you know, changing things on the old Facebook. So.
And how are you gonna break it to you know, old Cross that there are younger children that are involved in this too?
We will cross that bridge soon. I told the kids in between these last 2 episodes that Dad is dating again, but that's all I'm giving you. Like, I've met a few different people. If things go down a serious path, I'll update you as you know, things unfold. But as of right now, I just want you to know if I'm, you know, because they know Saturday night I'm going out. I told them it is a date, and if you see some text or something coming in, like, yes, it could be a woman. So they're cognizant that I'm back out there.
And what was their reaction?
Supportive, positive.
Good.
You know, Crosby and Neo, my 16-year-old, they, you know, everything's sort of passé to them, it feels like. But Cros started having a few questions like, well, when do I get to know more? And what questions can I ask? And he did
him.
He's such a Walter Cronkite, dude. He's going to be an investigative journalist. That's where I feel he's going. I mean, he's got questions. He wants fucking answers.
He does. And he clearly goes and thinks about these things, because then I'll see him again an hour later and he's going, hey, let me ask you one little question. He did the funniest thing. I don't know where he's picking up on this stuff from, but that night after I told him I was starting to date, he came up here in my studio where I'm always working at night, and he always comes up to get a good night hug when he's ready for bed. And so he comes up, and I get up out of my chair and I give him a hug, and he gets up on his tippy toes to hug me, and he steps back and he looks at me and he's like, "Boy, you really are tall, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude." I said, "You know, you're going to be tall too. Like, you got my genes in you, so you'll get there." And he's like, yeah, no, I see. And he's like, people always tell me about your voice. He's like, they always say it's like, you got this voice. And he's like, I really hear it now. Like, you really do have this voice. And he's like, you got this mountain guy beard too. He said, you should put all this on your Tinder profile.
Wow.
Giving you dating advice?
Yes. And how does he even know what Tinder is? Like the hookupiest.
Well, I think
Of course he knows, dude. You know what? Here's the truth of the matter, and I don't say this to frighten you, but I do.
Yeah.
If you could only get full honesty from your youngest about everything that he knows about, has seen on the web, I think you'd be shocked, right? Probably. I think we all would. I mean, I would be with my niece, everybody. You know, I'll say things like, oh, this is a great example. My brother, and I'll get into more of the story later, this last week, almost passed out from choking this week.
Oh.
And he got a little woozy, and he was standing next to the couch, and it looked like he was just taking this couch from behind. Like his knees were shaking. It just looked like he was humping the couch.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I stood up after he got his breath and went behind him and started like insinuating that I was fucking him in the butt. Yeah. My niece was around the corner, who's 10, by the way.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry, Mia. I'm sorry. I didn't even know you were there. Oh, I don't know if I should have said that. But I said, I'm sorry. And she was like, I know what humping is. And I was like, you do? You're 10. How do you know what humping is?
They know, they have dogs. They see it.
Here's my question. I would suppose that she's heard the term and has some, you know, it's something boys and girls do or whatever.
Sure.
I don't know if she fully understands. It's the same with Cross and Tinder. I'm sure he's heard the term come up. It's a dating app, but I don't think he knows it's like the hookup sleazy app of all of them.
Yeah, no, you're probably right.
They get exposed to a lot of pop culture stuff that I don't know if they fully, you know, understand what they're reading.
Yeah.
So
and we've already proven Cross is like you. I don't think nearly as much as Steve does. My brain has so fewer hours on it than yours does. Because I mean, sometimes I have deep thoughts, but it's not every minute of every day that I'm pondering life. And I could probably afford to do it a little more often, right? To solve some of my own issues. But
there's a balancing act in there, yeah.
And I think that Cross definitely has picked it up. So he's a thinker, dude. Yes. It doesn't surprise me that he said that to you.
Yeah, he's a deep thinker and overthinker and all that. So yeah. But as I've started to tell a couple of people, I told my buddy Emily back in Michigan. She seems none too thrilled. Nick,
I knew that was coming.
Nick's response last week was similar. Like, what'd you say? If I got nothing nice to say, I'm just not going to say anything.
Hey, listen, and I don't say that. I don't. You know exactly why I say it.
I do.
I do explain.
Listen, the point I want to make with you, with Emily, with my mom. My mom was not too thrilled at first, and she said, "Your sister's going to be pissed off." I was like, "Pissed off?
For what?"
I know where everyone's coming from, and I have.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: no one wants to see me get hurt again. I totally get that, and everyone wants to make sure I'm learning from mistakes of the past, and I fully get that. If anything, I'm over paranoid right now. I told Nick this week, every nice thing Dottie says, I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. Wait a minute, are you manipulating me? Like, it's not how, like I'm taking it probably too far to the other extreme. So this is part of what I'm working on.
That's no way to be, right? I mean, come on.
I mean, there's some good to be cautious, obviously, but you don't want to be paranoid. There's a difference between caution and paranoia. So
glad to hear you say that.
Yeah. So I get that everyone, just doesn't want to see me get hurt again. It's got nothing to do with Dottie as a person. It's got to do with my past and my baggage.
And hopefully she knows that. It does weird me out to think, oh, I know Dottie's listening to this podcast at some point. Like, I don't want her to think, oh, your best friend's a fucking asshole, dude. He never has anything nice to say about us. It's not that at all. I don't.
It already came up because, she heard last week's show, and her immediate response was, I have friends telling me the same thing. Like, she's not been divorced for that long, and she's, got friends, just take it slow and steady, make sure,
Yeah.
And I've already told you guys, like, there's stuff that will automatically slow us down. And by the way, like, part of the craziness of my breakup was not just that the relationship ended. It was that I was thrown out of, the kids and I were thrown out of our home. Locks were changed. Lawyers got involved. Like, I will never put myself in that vulnerable a position again where I'm under someone else's roof, technically. And they can do that kind of shit. So,
sure. Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, it wasn't just a breakup. It was, it was brutal and inhumane, immoral, illegal sorts of ways. So, I'm not going to do that again. So my mom, we're talking on the phone, and she's like, "Oh, Steven, like, just, she just slow down. I don't want to see you get hurt. All this, like, and just being negative." Yeah. The funniest fucking thing happened with my mom. So we're wrapping up this call, and she's like, "Well, I want to see what Dottie looks like. Send me a picture of her." My mom's not very tech savvy, so she can't check a text while being on speakerphone like all of us could. Sure. So I texted her a couple of pictures, and then she calls me back. She was like,
"Why were those nudes? I didn't want nudes."
Well, she may have appreciated it, because my point is, my mom is apparently like one of my high school friends. She calls me back and is like, "Oh my gosh, Steven, she is so beautiful. She's so beautiful. I approve. Like, really? Because she's hot, Mom? Now you approve? This is
the beauty that gotcha.
Apparently. And I can tell you, this triggered an old memory of when I was in like 8th grade. I had my first girlfriend, and I don't know, she wasn't stunning gorgeous. She had some sort of weird little features, but we were at some community event, and I told my mom, like, "Hey, that's Jody. That's the girl. That's my girlfriend." My mom looked at Jody and was like, "Oh, no, Steven.
You know better than that."
"No, you can do better." I think she said that. "You could do better than that." And I was like, wow. Like, that was devastating that my mom doesn't approve of the looks of my person. So she said Dottie was beautiful, but then she said something that I just started laughing out loud. She said, "Well, Steven, I've noticed that Dottie's body type is much different than your most recent ex."
Oh.
My mom just called my ex fat, is what that translates to. Right. My ex was curvy, and I've joked on the show before, like, I love my person. I don't care what your body type is. But there was a few times I saw her naked where I'm like, did my vasectomy not work? Because you look pregnant. Like, she had this weird paunch. It wasn't just round. It was, bulbous.
Yeah, right.
And apparently my mom picked up on these things, and it was nice of her not to tell me during the relationship. But to hear my mom say, like,
yeah, dude,
your new girl's got a different body type than your last one.
That's a very diplomatic way of saying it.
And Dottie is thin as a rail. So the implication was quite clear to me.
That's funny, dude. Who knew that Mrs. Harris was
right
all into the vanity of your relationships?
Exactly. She wants me to be with the top shelf women. So I guess mom's come around. I got her approval. And ironically, I think the two people that, were on board right away are Brewski and my dad, who has been married 18,000 times. So my dad was just like, oh, yeah, she's beautiful, son. Like, have at it. Have fun. And he was like, how old is she? And I was like, she's 10 years younger. He's like, perfect. That's great.
Yeah.
You're going in the right direction.
Hey, at least she's not telling you that, she has to pass the Christmas tree test.
What is it? The Christmas tree test. What is it?
Oh, useless after the 25th.
Oh.
That's funny.
Oh, it is.
So, yes. So there you go. I'm, got a girlfriend. So there you go.
All right, dude. Well, congratulations, dude. We're all pulling for you.
I appreciate that. So
yes.
The other thing I want to point out, just for everyone too, on this whole, let's make sure Steve's overly cautious and maybe raining on my parade a little bit.
Sure.
Hold on. I've got some audio I need to play. I have a microphone in the Hindenburg's house right now. And, there's her and her friends. As we all know, the Hindenburg is a terrible narcissist, and narcissists want to control how people see you. So I don't want you guys doing her dirty work. She would love to know that you guys are casting doubt on this, or dispersions, or Steve's radars off, or she would love to know that there is any dissent caused by her. My newest.
Caused by her. Get over yourself.
Right.
That's
so don't feed into that.
That's so much fucking pressure to put on me, dude.
Yeah, I knew it'd stop you, so that's why I said it.
That's so much fucking pressure, dude. This is what I'm talking about, Brewski, when I tell you that Steve never stops thinking. That fucking diabolical plan that he came up with over the week. He just unleashed.
It's a truity. I'm sorry if the reality is poignant, but she would love to know that I told someone, hey, I got a girlfriend. They're like, oh boy, remember the last one though? Like, is your radar off? Are you gonna get hurt again? Oh, she's just giggling. Her and her horse friends are just giggling down there. So,
well, I will reserve that judgment from here on out as for only your fiancés.
Right. Save it for off air. Don't give her the satisfaction of hearing any dissent.
All right.
So there you go.
Well, good, dude. Let's play it safe, play it good, feel it all, do it all. Go for it.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, guys, I mean, she's an amazing woman. I like her a lot, and things are good and happy. So I just want to see where that goes. So
yeah.
There you go.
I will be cautious. I know everyone will keep me in check, and on we go.
Thanks, Steve.
You're welcome. I have an article here. It's called "Mind Blowing: 7 Surprising Reasons Women Start to Hate Their Men."
Oh, man, I don't know if I need to listen to this. I'm just going to be counting on my finger.
Should we do this? Does anyone else have another direction we want to go? Another article we want to read? What do we want to do?
No, let's do it. Whip it on us,
go
dude.
for it. Yeah.
All right. So this is time for a self-reflection for us guys, I guess. And we'll determine if anyone is, if any of these reasons are a little off. All right. So again, this is from a website called Friends Hub. I saw it on some other website and clicked onto it. 7 surprising reasons that women start to hate their husbands is the actual title.
All right.
Number 1, and this I don't even understand what these words mean. Number 1, he denies you sex. Did people do that?
I'm gonna write these down, dude. I'm gonna mark mine down. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest for the whole survey, and I'll mark mine down. See what kind of trouble I'm in.
Sex. If you pair this with not communicating with your partner, it can have a detrimental effect on your relationship. The key is to figure out the underlying reasons behind why you're being denied sex. Is there something that has recently altered the relationship? If so, it's essential to approach the situation with empathy and understanding. So,
sound advice.
Do we want to break these down one at a time, or how do you want to do this here? Any comments, any thoughts on this?
Comments. Have I ever denied sex? I mean, not entirety or entirely, but I have said like, I'm not feeling great.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I've said that kind of shit before.
Yeah. In all seriousness, yes. 1 out of 100 times. When I'm in a relationship and you're living with somebody, which is completely different than dating and not living together. Because if you're only seeing somebody once a week and you come over and you're like, yeah, I don't really want to have sex. Yeah, that seems like a bit of a red flag to me. When you're living with someone, though, I think it's okay on one night to be like, actually, I'm kind of tired, or I don't feel super well. Like, love you, all that stuff, want you, but just not tonight. I think
okay. Yeah.
But the article makes a good point. Like, if there's reasons behind why you're denying sex, if you're masking it, then
you got an issue, maybe.
You got to have that discussion.
Yeah. Number 2, and this makes sense to me. He flirts with other women. Do you need to constantly show off your partner's wedding ring to other people? While some men may do this as a playful or ego-boosting move, others may not realize how hurtful it is to take revenge on their partner by flirting with other women.
I think it's weird, dude. I mean, if my wife was, actively, intentionally flirting with somebody else, I'd find it odd and hurtful.
I think that's dumb.
Does that make me terrible? I mean,
of course it would be hurtful. I mean, there's a fine line between being friendly and being flirty, but if it's really flirtatiousness for sake of just batting your eyes or whatever it is, no, that's totally inappropriate.
Agree, Brewski?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
All right.
I wouldn't. I mean, that's not something that, unless there's problems or you're one of those couples, then it's not
open couples. Yeah.
It's probably not something you want to engage in.
Yeah. I've always had this philosophy, and I think Nick and I talked about this years ago. I think it is okay if you and your person are sitting there watching a TV show or a movie, it's okay to say, boy, Jennifer Aniston, she is so hot. Like,
yeah.
But you don't say it about the waitress or the next door neighbor.
Yes.
Or in a therapy session and talking about, the waitress's underwear that might be sticking out of the back of her pants or something like that. And I wonder, are they lacy? Are they pink?
But I thought it was a safe place. I thought it was safe. Are we not in the true safety here? I'm sorry. So, yeah, no, you should never be flirting with somebody else. So.
Yeah, that's negative, dude.
Right. So I would agree with that one. Number 3 on the 7 surprising reasons women might start to hate their person.
So far, these haven't been surprising. Okay.
Number 3, you want to feel the satisfaction of cheating on him. That's not surprising. I would think that's a red flag right there. If you, let's see here.
Obviously, that's a problem. Like, why are we saying, you know what, that might be a problem? That is a fucking problem.
Big problem. It says, when a married woman is particularly drawn to someone else, they may unconsciously begin to harbor negative feelings towards their current partner to justify their attraction to the other person without feeling guilty.
Oh, yeah.
If you find yourself having strong feelings for a man at work, this is talking to the woman, and he may feel the same about you, you may use those feelings of resentment toward your husband as a justification for infidelity.
Dude, I'll tell you this, that with a past relationship of Heather, the girl that you guys both know.
Yeah.
I wondered about that after we split up. There was no infidelity. I know that. But I wondered if there was anything to that, of like maybe she was crushing on somebody and it started to make my faults come up, that she didn't notice before.
The grass is greener kind of thing?
Yeah. Complete grass is greener thing, dude. So, you know what? I'm sure it happens all the freaking time. In fact, I know people who are a part of that whole deal. So yeah, that happens. It's a fucking problem. Next.
We've talked about it with the Hindenburg, that there was this cowboy dude that was always, flirting with her. And I pulled her side once. It was like, that guy's got a crush on you, right? And she played innocent, and maybe she didn't really pick up on it. But once I told her that this guy clearly likes you, like, you should not probably be leading him on. I'm not saying you can't hang out with them, but just make sure you've got some boundaries going. Like, they would go on sunset horseback rides together because she was like, I need someone to go ride with. Like, I get that on your side, but that dude sees the romance of it.
You don't know how to salsa dance. He's my salsa dancing partner.
Right. But after I pointed it out, the behavior didn't stop.
Right.
No.
And that became a problem eventually for me.
That was a lack of respect, dude. Just mutual respect, right?
Yes, for our relationship and for this poor dude. I'm sure it boosts your ego to know that he's drooling over you, but it's not cool to him. It's not cool to me, and you're kind of being a dick tease. So
yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Knock it off. Number 4 on the list, when he cheated. Is this surprising that she would hate you?
I mean, that's fucking so stupid, dude. You ran out already?
Right. This is a challenging situation to deal with. I can't stand my spouse, my sister cried, when he was supposed to be away at a conference, but he was unfaithful with another woman. This can be one of the most complicated relationship challenges to overcome. Because
Really?
not only has your trust been damaged, but your partner has also expressed a desire to be with someone instead of you. Are we surprised?
And might have an STD too.
I mean, there's 100 problems there. None of that surprises me that might be a reason she hates you.
Not at all.
Hey, dude, I don't know how both of you guys feel about this, but Rachel is divorced. Her husband was a fucking cheater. Okay.
Okay.
So we have varying opinions of cheating in relationships about how can a relationship get over a cheat? And I mean, they can for different people, but I've been clear and concise since the beginning of us being together. I don't forgive that. I don't. I mean, it's the one thing probably you could do to me that I would just be like, I don't forgive it.
Yeah.
You know? And I think it kind of strikes her because when she was going through that, they tried to go to therapy to save the marriage.
Yeah.
And I just can't fucking imagine that, dude. I mean, am I in the minority here?
That's a bridge that once you go across, it's like, how do you actually go back?
Right? You can't.
That's
well, I can't. I'll say that.
I will tell you, as a young lad, back when Bill Clinton got the blowjob with Monica Lewinsky,
yes,
I openly criticized Hillary Clinton for not leaving her husband. Like, he cheated on you. You should leave the guy. As I've grown older, I've realized that no one understands a relationship except the two people in it.
Sure.
Yeah.
And there are some scenarios where maybe and Jamie never cheated, but I'm saying like we were together 17 years. If 15, 16 years in, if we had drifted apart and she decided to go do something like that, like there may be a foundation there that is strong enough that we could get to the root of why this happened and maybe we could get over it. But I tend to be like you, Nick, where like, no, you cheat, it's done, it's over, especially if you're dating or a boyfriend-girlfriend situation. Like, again, maybe if you've got kids and all these years under you, maybe there's a way to work through that. I want to be open-minded enough or not judgmental enough to say that maybe some relationships could.
And we obviously some relationships do. I mean, there are people this happens to, and they're able to have a successful marriage afterwards. I just don't know. I don't know that I'm one of them.
Yeah, I think it would be very, very difficult to ever get over something like that. So.
All I could hear in my head for the rest of time is once a cheat, always a cheat. You know, like, I mean, everyone says it. They say it for a reason. I understand there are people who have, been faithful after cheating once, but come on.
I think it's like a lot of things on this list. Why? What's the reason behind it? Are you just a cheater? You don't believe in, in commitment? Were you trying to hurt me? Like, there is a little something why behind it, but boy, it's 1 out of 100.
I was talking to my cousin once, and we're good friends. We have deep conversations, but it's usually over text because our schedules are so different. Yeah. And she asked me one time, she was like, what would be harder for you to get over, physical cheating or emotional cheating? And I said, well, I got a fucking problem with both of them, but probably emotional, dude. I mean, that tears me apart even more than the physical cheating would, and that would tear me apart, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But she was asking me because she knew someone who was in the position of
doggy style. Yeah.
Husband was cheating with a wife. It was all emotional up until this point.
Right.
And her girlfriend found out about it. Obviously, she was devastated, but she was like, well, at least he didn't physically do it.
That's a tough one. How do you tell the difference between a guy friend and an emotional affair she's having? Because I'm not so insecure that if you're buddies with a guy, I just talked about Emily, one of my closest friends, as a girl.
Yeah.
So there's a gray area there between you're friends with a guy and you're having an emotional affair with a guy.
Yes, for sure, dude. I get that, but you're having a first of all, you'll know. Here's my rule of thumb, okay? Not that I ever look at my wife's text, but I would expect for both of us that if she picks up my phone, she could read anything that's on my phone, and I wouldn't be like, oh, don't look at that, or I didn't mean it like that. Like, you should be able to read through my phone and not find anything fucking weird. I got a ton of girls that are friends. Most of them are friends with my wife as well, but
yeah,
you can have... I'm friends with my ex, dude. We still talk on the phone.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I get it.
My the Hindenburg ex there, she was paranoid because she did cheat once, and I think if you're capable of cheating once, you're going to be capable of it again. And now she always wondered if was I going to do that? I can't tell you how many times I handed her my phone. I gave her my bank account once. I said, "Here's the login. Go look. I'm not hiding anything."
That's fucking uber abuse and control, dude.
Yeah,
so funny,
and at the time, I was so proud of like, you can accuse me of anything because I haven't done it. So go ahead and read every text on my phone. But you're right. Like, that's a terrible red flag that I should have obviously picked up on.
Yeah,
and a lot of times it's that's a projection.
Exactly.
Sure.
Exactly. Yeah. Because she had cheated and was worried that someone would do it to her or whatever else. And
yeah.
So, yeah, no, for sure. All right, back to the list here. These are the 7 surprising reasons that women would start to hate their man. Number 5, he ignores you. What was his motivation for marrying you?
What kind of relationships are they talking about?
They sound very unhealthy, yes.
Oh, come on. You don't ever just ignore somebody that you're angry at.
Well, sure, but I mean, if my general attitude towards Rachel is that I ignore her, I would expect her to go. like
if you're in an argument sort of thing,
Yeah, no, there's a time and a place for everything, Brewski.
Right. It says, what was his motivation for marrying you? Whether it's a small request like asking him to take out the trash or bringing up important issues that need to be addressed, this individual is in denial and hoping that by ignoring issues, they will simply disappear.
Yeah.
So this comes down to communication issues. If your communication's falling apart, then yeah, she's going to start to hate you.
I do notice, dude, as I get older, I am a guy who has hearing issues like selectively, where I notice myself a lot being like, what was that? I always go in to get the comment, but I don't hear it the first time.
And you think that's selective hearing? Because I have tinnitus, so I have to say that a lot of I didn't pick up on that. Can you repeat it?
It's complete selective hearing, dude. And I know that because it's become a habit of I never answer the first time. I always say, what was that? Just because I want to hear it again, dude. I need to hear it again.
You are married to a lawyer, though. You may have picked up on that. Can you repeat the question, please? I want to make sure
Maybe I'm just being responsible, right?
Can you read the question back to me, please?
Well, I will admit that there have been times in the past where I'm really pissed and the Jen was yelling at me about something. And I heard everything she said, but I kind of studied it like I didn't hear it. And then when she'd say, "Did you hear me?" I said,
"Nope."
Say something.
Sometimes I'll ask to repeat the question so I can think of a response. Yeah.
No. I was doing it because I wanted her to make it seem like I wasn't listening at all.
Yeah, you were trying to come off as aloof.
Did you say something? And oh my God, you're goddamn right. I said something, and it doesn't make anything better. But inside, I'm just laughing my ass off.
Right. That's a favorite relationship joke of mine that I never get the laugh reciprocated where, the woman will be like, men never listen. I'm like, I'm sorry, what'd you say? They never find it funny. I think it's clever, but
Rachel does that to me all the time, dude. And I never laugh at it.
It's like, what do you say to a woman with 2 black eyes?
What do you say?
She's not listening, so why say anything more?
Yeah, she didn't hear you the first 2 times. Why would you say it again? She didn't hear it the first 2 times.
It's a terrible joke.
I know. It's awful.
That's so funny.
You're right.
I heard the stand-up that's got a bit where he calls the women's shelter and he's like, "Hey, is Jane there?" And they're like, no one named Jane is here. And he's like, "Well, when she gets there, tell her I'll never do it again."
Who had that? Who was that, Steve?
I don't remember. Some stand-up,
okay.
The unnamed comedian. But all right. So, so that one was he ignores you. Number 6 on the list is he belittles you. Being constantly
one hell of a relationship, dude.
Right.
Wow.
Probably any one of these is plenty, but
I would say so. That one.
It says being constantly belittled by a partner can be incredibly damaging.
Also abusive.
Right. It's crucial to handle the situation carefully, as a man who diminishes your worth may progress to emotional or physical abuse. Yeah, watch what you're saying over there. It's essential to have a relationship if it turns abusive, as you deserve to be. It's essential to leave a relationship if it turns abusive.
Was that Freudian, dude?
Maybe. As you deserve to be treated with respect and dignity. Oh, really? No shit. Okay. So yeah, if you're constantly belittling,
God, dude,
it does seem bad. And number 7 on the list, last one here, when he nags. This is a little more of a gray area, I guess. Depends what your definition of nagging is. Quote here, sweetheart, can you retrieve the laundered clothing? Is this a foreign website?
No, that's possible.
Darling, have you
English, it's
taken care
English.
of the payments? Love, do you have a timeline for completing the home tidying?
Dude,
I'm British.
I would die. I would die if that was my life.
Well,
Rachel does not nag me, and it doesn't mean she doesn't ask me to do shit, because she does. But I am known for procrastinating, and I will usually ignore it for a little while, and then I'll get to it. But she does not nag me. We wouldn't make a good nagging couple because I'm terrible. I fucking procrastinate, dude. So if she nagged, can you imagine?
Yeah. I'll tell you, when Jamie and I first started marriage counseling, when, divorce seemed imminent and the topic had come up, and, this marriage counseling was sort of our last ditch effort to see if we could salvage things.
Sure.
So we sit down on the first day of marriage counseling, and the shrink asked Jamie, give me an example of something Steve does that drives you crazy. And she said he doesn't do the dishes, or he waits a day to do the dishes. He does them the next morning, not the night of. And I look at the shrink. I'm like, this is why we're here? Because I'm not doing the dishes?
I can fix this.
Well, and it's why I obsessively do dishes nowadays, because I got in that habit over the course of that marriage counseling. But my shrink looks at me and she says, there's a book called Yes, She'll Leave You Because You Didn't Do the Dishes. You should probably read it. And she was like, it's not about the dishes. It's about the bigger issue of the fact that she feels she has to keep telling you and nag at you. And why aren't you doing the dishes? Why don't you respect me enough to do the dishes? I'm just like,
Oh, God.
17 years. I'm bordering on divorce because I wait till the next morning to do dishes. It seems so trivial to me, but
I do know, I can tell you from personal experience that when I do procrastinate, at points in our relationship, Rachel has come to me and she was like, at this point, it just seems like you have no respect for me. I've asked you several times, you haven't done it, and it just seems like you don't have any respect for me. And she's right, dude. I was disrespecting her completely. So it can get to that.
Is that really what it was? Because I was never like, I'm not doing those dishes tonight. Stick it to you. I'm like,
yes, no.
I'm stuffed from dinner. I'm stoned.
Sure.
I'm late. I'm tired. I'll do them in the morning. I didn't mean to send this grand message, but apparently,
yeah. No, little shit, dude, starts adding up. And when I don't, I got a fucking drawer in our house, and I've got much more than a drawer, but I'll just use the drawer as a fucking example. That is, when we moved in, I was like, I'm never filling this fucking junk drawer up, so I gotta fucking shake it to get it out again, right? And let me tell you, that drawer now, dude, every time I'm like, there's so much fucking stupid shit in this thing. It's just a little bit at a time until it becomes a huge problem, dude.
There's power cables, everything in there.
Yes, dude. I got old fucking lifesavers in there. I mean, there's everything in there.
Yeah. You never know when you might need it, though.
That's what I tell myself every fucking time, dude. I might need that someday.
But it's a metaphor for the relationship. It starts off okay and a piece at a time, and eventually it's a clusterfuck in this drawer that's going to fall on your foot and cut your veins open.
I married a couple that actually, I'm getting ready to go to Austin for this law convention thing. And there's a couple who comes that Rachel and I become good friends with them, and I married them. And the whole theme,
polygamy thing? What do you
No, dude, I'm a minister of the fucking cloth, dude. Come on.
Sorry, sir.
I married them, and the whole theme of that ceremony was forgetting to fucking water your plants, dude. Yeah. I mean, the plant will live for a while, right? It's gonna die eventually, but fucking water that thing, dude, because you'll wake up one morning and you'll be like, oh fuck, it's too late, it's dead.
That is exactly what happened in my marriage. I've learned a valuable lesson that relationships are plants. You've got to take care of them. You can't just go on cruise control. You can't just assume it's forever. So, yeah, that's very wise of you, Nick. Are those people still together?
They are, dude. We're going to see them this week.
All right, good.
They've got 2 children. What a great family, dude. You know what? Can I be honest with you? And I take a lot of pride in this because Rachel always fucking just champions me up about it.
Yeah.
Every ceremony that I've performed to this point, and I've got, some 13 years shit going on here. No one's divorced yet.
So you're why I got divorced, because fucking Big Man officiated and not you.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all your fault.
Had you asked me, I would have fucking shown up in a real tuxedo, dude.
Oh, yes. Nick did famously show up to my backyard wedding in a T-shirt tuxedo, which didn't age well with my then wife.
Champion.
Thank you.
Well, congrats on your batting record. So that's impressive. So
Yeah. Hopefully that couple won't tell us this week. Hey, we're getting divorced, you guys. It's been real.
Well, take it very personally if they do. It's all I will. So, all right, Nick, you had asked me to flag you when we were over 2 hours. We're just over that threshold. So I don't know if we want to have any other topics. We want to wrap it up for this fine edition.
Yeah. Is the list done?
Yes, that was the 7 things you're going to do to make her hate you, and they all seem relatively valid. At least 6 out of 7 did. So,
all right, Brewski.
I would call it the common sense list.
Yeah, that would be the common sense list.
I would think so also, yeah.
Right.
Oh, should we do our bodies? I mean, we keep putting bodies off. We're just collecting a den of bodies.
I've lost track at this point, so I was hoping one of you would actually have a list.
Well, especially with
no, we shouldn't do it because there's too many.
Lisa Loring died yesterday.
Is that Wednesday Addams?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yeah, Wednesday's dead. I saw that for sure. I feel like I need to give her the salute, though. Come on.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
Just for Wednesday?
No, we got more, Steve.
Oh, okay.
Let the bodies hit the...
Listen, we got...
Flag that, YouTube.
Yeah, flag it. Create more work for Steve. Why not?
Disrespect these poor people more.
We finally found out today what happened to Lisa Marie Presley, who we've lost to the other side.
Yeah, what happened to her?
If you will.
Yeah, what did happen?
She was on a high dose of opioids.
Oh boy.
And it said something, don't hold me to this, fact checkers, but it was close to this, okay? Like anywhere from 35 pounds to 50 pounds in 2 weeks, in the last 2 weeks of her life. And she didn't have an illness like cancer or anything. I mean, she wasn't eating. Was it a hunger strike? I don't know. But she had large amounts of opioids in her. So who knows?
That'll do the trick. Did she die on the toilet? Keep the family tradition alive?
No.
Well, okay.
No peanut butter and nana sandwiches for her.
You don't want to live in your father's shadow. I get it.
Who else died, Brewski? Anyone you can think of?
Well, yeah, for me, Ken Block.
Oh, yeah.
Ken Block. It's
Block.
interesting to me that you know Ken Block, because I know him as well, and you and I know him from 2 totally different worlds.
Yeah, I mean, I know he does the rally stuff, obviously, but that's not why I follow him for more of the Hoonigan and Jim Connor stuff that he does. And if anybody hasn't seen those videos, what that man could do with a car, not even rally-wise, I'm talking like on a street, just just insane.
Yeah, see, I know him from the dirt bike off-road world. He's a big hero. He does the rally stuff. He's not a dirt biker, but he's famous enough in the off-road world that I at least had heard about him. I didn't even know he was the Hoonigan guy.
Yeah, he's the one that started Hoonigan, and I have one of the license plate frames. The keychain. I mean, all the videos are just amazing. And then the way he died though, with that snowmobile accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, they called it a freak snowmobile accident. Why do they call it freak? What happened? I don't know the details.
He was going up a steep grade, and what happened was the snowmobile kicked up, and then it fell backwards and fell on top of him.
And he suffocated in the snow?
No, it weighed over 500 pounds. So think about how fast he's going. And then that kicked up. And now all that
I guess I would have assumed the snow was deep enough to just shove him in, but no, it just crushed him, huh?
It crushed him.
Oof. Wow.
That doesn't seem very freak to me. It seems like a risk you take when you go snowmobiling, right?
I would never expect to be crushed by one of those things. Normally you get thrown off of vehicles like that. And the snow out west, I mean, where I am, you would not be crushed. You'd be shoved in the snow and probably suffocate because you couldn't get the thing off you.
Sure.
No, so but the other thing too is that when you think about probably the rate of speed he might have been going, because
he's a badass. Yeah.
Well, not just that, but that snowmobile was in true Ken Block fashion, completely just like the engine was like maxed out and even a turbo on it.
Yeah, maximum weight. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, they said it weighed over 500 pounds, close to 600 pounds, with the gasoline in it, and that weight with all that momentum, when it came back down and crushed them, it's just bam,
Yeah, I can see that. I watched Supercross this last weekend, and Hoonigan is not none of the major riders are sponsored by that. They all have other clothing companies that do their shit. But Alpine Star, who does most of the big riders, they made limited edition Hoonigan-inspired Supercross gear for these guys, and they all wore it last Saturday night in Anaheim.
Yeah.
They, had a moment of silence for the races and all that stuff. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, because
one
Ken
company would bridge that gap.
Ken was super tight with Travis Pastrana, and we all know what a
Ricky
badass
Carmichael.
bad. Yeah. Ricky Carmichael, Travis Pastrana, and Ricky Carmichael are. So
Vin Diesel.
I've got my Travis Pastrana dirt bike guy right here.
Oh, wow, that's a good one, dude.
That is a good one. I don't know about Vin Diesel, but
come on, dude. Let's talk about the Fast and the Furious.
Sure, love it all. I love Triple X, where he actually wore dirt bike pants, made it look fashionable. I found so. Check that out.
I don't know anyone else who's died.
I've got a small list here. This cannot be the complete list because there's been way more deaths than this. But the person that people think my son is named after, who he is not, David Crosby, died.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. We haven't talked about that.
Yeah, people always ask me. My son's first name is Crosby, and they always say, "Are you a Bing Crosby fan or a David Crosby fan?" And I say neither. Thank you very much. I mean, I like David Crosby. I didn't name my kid after him, though. So.
But that was a big one for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Another musical legend, Jeff Beck, obviously.
Yeah.
Legendary guitar player. Yeah.
I'm a big Yardbirds fan, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and Beck has all of his solo work over the years. I mean, he is one of those. He may not be a household name to some people, but certainly in the musicians' world, he's a legend. He was back there with Clapton and Jimmy Page and all those guys, coming up through the network.
Like
so
a guitarist, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, let's see. What else do I got here? Brewski, who's Bobby Hull?
Oh, a hockey player. His son is Brett Hull. Bobby Hull played for the Chicago Blackhawks for a long time. So yeah,
the picture, he's got no front teeth, so I was just assuming he must be a hockey player.
Well, yeah, and also he played back when they didn't wear helmets on the ice either.
When it was a man's game.
But he didn't play so far back to the point where goalies didn't even wear masks.
Yeah, that's hardcore right there.
That's real hardcore, dude. I can't imagine.
How about Sal Bando?
Yes, he played for the Oakland A's, shortstop, infielder, light-hitting guy, but was instrumental in those 70s A's teams.
Mm-hmm. How about Billy Packer?
Yeah, college basketball, onions. he was a college basketball commentator and a fixture on the NCAA coverage on CBS for my whole life.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably most well known as being the announcer commentator guy.
When you ask those questions, dude, from here on out, I think we need to address Brewski in these segments like he's Alexa. So we can just ask him, Brewski, who is so and so, and then let him spit the facts out. Okay.
All right. Let's try it. Hey, Brewski, who's Jay Briscoe?
Oh, that's he's a professional wrestler, actually.
It was slow internet, but it worked.
Right.
No.
Sometimes Siri delays too.
He died in a car accident.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, Brewski, who's Adam Rich? And I don't know if you're going to know this one because I don't know.
Of course I do. He was Nicholas Bradford on 8 is Enough.
Tremendous play by Brewski.
Yeah. You see, Brewski, Siri, Alexa, they really.
I was actually I was chatting with Adam Rich on Twitter.
Really? Well, I'm sorry for your loss, Brewski.
No, wait. But Steve knows about this because I mentioned him to Steve because I was going to try and get him to come on the show.
Oh, that's right.
And Steve was like, "Well, if we can hear all the drug stories and everything, yeah, that'd be great," and that sort of thing.
That's right. That's funny. Well, I guess we missed that interview chance. So.
Actually, his initial comment was, "Who the fuck is that?"
Right.
And then when he found out, it was that cute little boy from 8 is Enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Who had big problems.
Let's see. Here's a weird one. Hey, Brewski, who's Lance Kerwin?
Lance Kerwin, James at 15, great TV show from the 70s.
Oh yeah,
that was filmed here. That was set here in Boston, and there was a big scandal, quote unquote, when James, his character, lost his virginity to a Swedish exchange student because they thought that how could you talk about that kind of thing on TV? And this is 1976, 1977, you know?
Hey, Brewski, I hope this isn't too soon for me to say, but I love you.
Listen, the audience that's not watching the podcast should know that Brewski's head is smoking. Like, cannot prof anymore.
This is fun. We're putting you on the spot. Your pop culture knowledge never fails. Hey, Brewski, who's Lisa Loring?
We just talked about that. Wednesday Addams.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry. I got a leg on my end here. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Hey, Brewski, who's C.J. Harris?
Wow, you got me on that one.
Okay, I have no idea who he is either.
Okay.
He's got a picture on the American Idol. Yeah, on the American Idol set. I don't know if he was he must have been a musician.
Must have been an idol, dude. Now you know who he is.
All right. And then I think this is the last one on this short list I have here. Hey, Brewski, who's Lola Chantrell Mitchell?
No
idea?
clue. It sounds like a music artist from these days. I don't know.
I mean, let's see here. Gangsta Boo, influential Memphis rapper of the 3-6 Mafia. That's
that's a bigger one than we know, dude.
Yeah, 3-6 Mafia is big, but I don't know her though.
And C.J. Harris is indeed a former American Idol contestant. I don't know. I stopped watching that show a long time ago. So
yeah.
That's the I know there's more because I've seen it in the news, but that's what I got for you at this moment.
That was good, dude. It was good. Thank you for bringing some up.
You're welcome. I'd even bring
as always. Brewski, you have the rest of the night off. we want to ask you one more thing.
Yeah, go recharge. All right.
All right, fellers. Well, that does it for episode number 23.
23. 23. 23. Yep. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's 23. It's 23. Yeah.
See us online at thevocalminority.net. You can get all our socials there. You can contact us through the website. And as per usual, we appreciate you listening.
Absolutely. Yep. Find us online. And please, for the love of freaking God, spread the good word. Especially this guy in Wichita. Just listening to everything we're doing. Could you please tell us who you are already?
Out of sight.
Exactly. All right. Yep. Vocalminority.net. Champions, until next week.
Mm-hmm.
Peace.